Hi Leo, and thank you for joining me today, and welcome to this reading for the latter part of the year, which is, I believe, July through December. So this is a focal reading for the latter part of the year. This is your reading for the whole year overview. The detailed reading is linked down below, but in the meantime, let me explain some of these cards and what it generally means. And if you want to see it in detail, then you can check that link. Also, I did a astrology reading for the latter part of the year, July through December, so you can check that out as well. Okay, so what we see is a reward period in which you are stepping into your personal power, particularly in the second part of the year. So I feel as though I didn't want to be too discouraging in the first part of the year, but I think until you make a drastic decision and until someone very important enters your life will be suspended in a certain way, and you'll be waiting for that time to move forward with things. And that will happen once that happens. It can happen as early as March, but it can happen as late as September, when a bunch of planets go forward in your sixth house of service. So be patient with the time frame. Everybody's unique and individual, and so that will be different as well. By the way, I don't know if I clarified, but I do have two astrology readings, one for the first part of the year and then the second one, which is just published for the second part. And those are astrological overviews that are clarifying what's going on in terms of the astrology, and they're meant to be a supplement to these readings, so they're not in great astrological detail, but I do make mention of it, so I wanted to give you guys some content that you guys can refer and understand the astrology. I also did a horoscope reading for Instagram, on which we did that horoscope spread with the 12 different houses, and so that is clarified on Vimeo for rent until the Instagram post reaches 500 hearts, at which time I will make some, if not all, of the videos available on YouTube. So maybe by the time you're watching this video, there's a lot of free content available. Everything is clarified in the About section below, as obviously at the time of filming I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so, well, I do have an idea, I mean about the Instagram post. That was really funny. Okay, so it looks as though you're stepping into a really wonderful love life, the right path for you to take, the right direction. You feel personal empowerment. You've gone through a change and transformation already by the time you're watching this, and now you are kind of consolidating power and understanding why everything happened the way that it did. So that's the general overview for the year. If you're not here yet, this is going to be your August through, or July through December. So you're still working through these energies. If you're still waiting, just be patient. That's the main channeled message that I'm getting for you guys. Patience, patience, patience. See the circumstances through and allow everything to just happen at the right time and in the right way, and it will be positive. Your life is going to be positive. It's going in good direction, so don't be worried at all, Leo. This is definitely one of my favorite readings. I think you're the 9th sign I'm reading for, so I do believe that this year for you, it's a really positive year. I think Capricorn's chart is more active. Their astrology and their tarot is more active, but that active does not mean positive, and I feel as though it's, for you, it's really nice, really nice energy. So let's see if that continues in the latter part of the year. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams, and then I'm going to use the Cosmic Tarot to clarify. So I've done this spread before for December, and this is a kind of a take on some Lenormand spreads, and I'm using the full 22 cards of the Tarot of Dreams. So if you want to look at any card in more detail, I would recommend that you Google them. They're available. It's a popular deck. So if you want to see something in detail, just follow along with Google. In the meantime, I'll just quickly lay them out because I use the entire deck. Okay, so your first message, we have the message of Temperance, which is the sign of Sagittarius. Careful combination of energy. So for your yearly reading, we had this in your social life. So I feel as though your social life is very much a catalyst for a lot of success. Lovers, the devil. I lay out the cards really quick and then we'll go into it deeper. At the center of the reading is informed by the star. The star was also very significant for you in your whole overview reading. That can mean that Aquarian people are very important, or it's the entering of some kind of soulmate, some type of wonderful person coming into your life. Hanged Man, the death card. Okay, well, if you got to get it out of the way, you got to get it out of the way, right? Okay, so we have all of the difficult cards came up, or can come up all together, but they will come up somewhere in your reading, so don't be shy. Let me just make room for one more, and if it's the Tower, I'll just giggle my heart away. But that means that good things are coming. Okay, so you have Emperor. So your relationship will be very significant for you in overcoming whatever it is you're going through. Justice, okay. Let's see, the Tower came through in, let's see. Okay, this is a really good position. It actually means that this is a year in which your loneliness will be shattered. And then, and it's important for you to really understand when and how. Core card, the Magician. The Magician also came through. I think your social life is a catalyst for great personal change and progress. I feel as though you will be embarking on new opportunities with regard to fairness and equity between yourself and others. The Moon. And then we have the Hermit. Okay. So maybe for some of you Leos, a connection with a Virgo will come up for you, particularly towards the end of the year. This is someone who you finally kind of understand why they are a bit of a loner, why they do things the way that they do. It could have been something that you didn't necessarily understand before, that you didn't resonate with, but this year is going to really teach you how and why and what. The next message is the Empress. Okay, so especially here we have Lilith moving into Aquarius, which is your 7th house of partnership in the fall. And so you want to maybe watch the astrology video before we get into this any deeper. Go link it down below. Excuse me, check it out and link it down below. But we have the Empress bringing you maybe some types of challenges, or your relationship based on kind of the Empress energy, bringing you some type of challenge. Next we have the Hierophant, insight and intuition into circumstances. Okay, and then the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, hold on. Yeah, so I feel as though you're very strongly moving away from a pre-described traditional order and going in a different direction. That started off early on in the year, and it will continue throughout this year. The next message is the Leo card, or Strength. This is your card. This was the outcome card for the year, so we're on point with that. And then we have the Sun. In this position, I just feel like you're stepping into some really big happiness, and it's earned. It's all earned, like you've earned it, and that's the magical part of it. We have Judgment in this position. Again, a very prominent position for this card, making huge change and transformation in your life. And the Chariot, total overcoming, abandonment, finding a solution to all things, and making the choice to travel, making the choice to change your world, change your life. I feel like in this position it's really, really something. Taking a personal journey in some direction, Leo. Really huge change and transformation is upon you. You're the maker of your own life. I feel as though you have chosen to destroy loneliness in your life, aloneness. I feel as though that Saturn in Sag was just, it was the ticket that you needed. I think that it was one of them. When I looked at that transit for you guys, I was emotionally impacted. And although my son is a Leo Virgo sun, I don't think that for me personally that was the transit, but I feel like for you guys, maybe early on, like in 2015, but for you guys, I think it was just such an important thing in your life. And many of you I spoke about it with sympathy because I understand it was a difficult one, and there was, you know, for each of you it could have been a difficult experience, but I feel as though it leading up to that transit, Leos were accepting, you were accepting loneliness as a facet of your generosity towards other people. I don't know if that makes sense. So you were accepting less than you deserve, basically, in your life, and that was causing you to toe the line, a form of codependency, toe the line in relationships that were not reciprocating for you in terms of, you know, emotional reciprocity and giving. So you were involved in all these relationships that were limiting you in some way, or holding you back, or saying no, this is no, or you can't, you know, just in some way kind of shortchanging you on the energy that you were putting into them. And I feel as though that destruction had to happen, and that coincided with, you know, maybe just leaving an institution right behind and being like, this is a bunch of, you know, mumbo jumbo. It doesn't resonate for me anymore. And there could have been a female energy that tried to influence you to stay put, to hold on to it. And maybe your ambition to be a mother for some of you, or your ambition to be more feminine, held you back from making these changes. But I think that there was no holding you back, and you had to do it. And I think that at first it felt really overwhelming, and I think at first you felt as though you wouldn't be able to ever free yourself. But I feel as though there was a turn in fortune, and someone came in that was amazing for you. That person sparked for you a revolution, and really took you in a new direction and freed you to the point of personal empowerment, where you were able to actually actualize that which was inside, that all the lessons that Saturn taught you in Sagittarius, and you basically freed yourself. And it was this chance meeting, chance connection, you know, chance meeting, chance connection that in some way liberated you, helped you step into your power, and you will continue in the latter part of this year to step into your power. Now, I don't mean to like just douse you with all this positive messages, but you guys know how I read. Unless there's something good to say, I'm not gonna say it. I always say things with kindness and compassion, or I try to anyway, unless I get in my mood. But that's my Scorpio or Aquarius. I guess that's more of an Aquarius trait. So I apologize for that, but I do try to, at the end of the day, speak with compassion to people, because I appreciate how difficult life can be. But I feel like this reading, it's not that you don't need compassion, because this was really daunting experiences, a destruction of a relationship with the Taurus possibly, and getting trapped and held back and manipulated. I get it, you know, there's been a lot of that going on for Leo, but I feel as though there's also a change in fortune that has happened that you're the benefactor of, and now you are moving to personal empowerment, change, and transformation. And I feel as though you're leading into really wonderful things. The moon here is very prominent. It's a very prominent position, which means that you don't know for sure. There's like a mystery that is a part of your life. And I feel as though the moon was, remember, in this area. So just rewind. I love this. I love how everybody talks as if we're still on tape. But yeah, rewind to the beginning of the video and see where the moon was. It was in that personal area of your life. So in the latter part of the year, you're really reconciling all these different feelings that you're appreciating about your new life, all the different kind of impressions that you see about life, the different kind of thoughts and ideas that wash over you, that are giving you opportunity to in some way relate to life, to deal with life. You know, the influence upon you, you're still figuring out, because it still feels like a mirage. It feels as though it can float away at any point in time. You don't know whether it's 100% guarantee. You want to really figure out for yourself where you can trust. And I feel in the latter part of the year, it is like a spiritual year for you in a certain sense, particularly when the nodes switch in November and you see these kinds of big spiritual questions come through. Leo, what do you want? Who are you? Here is your personal empowerment. Right at the core of the reading, we have the Magician. And so what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to use your resources? And you're like, oh, I'm going to just really resonate with what is right and integrate everything and think about the past, the present and the future, and think about where I'm going to take it and how I'm going to empower my life. Now, if that means within a relationship, this card is very supportive of establishing a relationship and a partnership. However, for some of you, this is like, no, I'm just going to X out a relationship. This card in this position, this is the Death card. It actually can mean that you're choosing to, be gone with a relationship. Say, no more of this relationship. This is done. Or for some of you, this is a Scorpio person with whom you are forming a relationship with. Or possibly this is a change, the fundamental change in the dynamic between you and other people in your family. And so that is leading you towards personally taking ownership over the decisions of your relationships, their structure, but you're doing it from your own place. I really recommend that you see the whole overview reading, because it's really strongly coinciding with this one, where you have this kind of sorting things through. So sorting through the imagination, sorting through the impressions, and the directions that your life is going. This is the big completion card. So it's like, you've gotten your payoff this year. There's the soulmate. It comes through right away. You have your relationship. This card, this is the Sun. And in this position, I feel as though it's just like, it's saying, you have the space to look at your shadow. You have the space to begin something new. I feel as though in terms of responsibilities towards certain institutions, I know I said that they're going to break down, but not all your institutional ties are going to break down. And in fact, maybe in education, something's going to be holding you back, or you're going to have to still see something through. So it's not like a wasteland energy, but something really core in your life is just boom, gone, and it's not like it's just really being taken out of the picture in a big way, and it's just like a clean sweep that is allowing you to do your own thing, but you feel burdened by this. And I feel as though this is maybe more to do with 2017, before, or maybe early part of 2017. I felt as though for some of you at the beginning of 2017 there was this level of delay. There was this level of wait till all this happens. That's what the channeled messages were very clear. It's like, wait till the person comes in, wait till you have to make a certain very big decision. And I feel as though that must happen in the center part of the year somewhere. But you come through with your goal, and you come through with your trajectory. So you set up, this is the direction I'm going to go, this is the mindset I'm going to take, and I'm going to make these giant decisions about who to take back, who to leave behind, how to move forward, in what way, where am I going to be open, where am I going to be closed. This is the card of opening. You're creating a space for something to come in, right? And without the necessity of having something there, you're fine with the way that it is. But there's this question mark. If I were to ask Leo, what's happening? Like, how's it going? If I saw you in October and I'd be like, yo, what's going on? You'll be like, oh, if you were really truthful with me, you would say, I'm kind of figuring it out. Like everything feels as though it's actively being processed. The need for active meditation and yoga is constant, but it's mindfulness. Like you're moving forward in a mindful way towards your new directions, towards new opportunities. It's really a wonderful energy, and you're meant to. You're being taught lessons this year that are associated with insight and intuition. You're meant to employ them for your personal empowerment. So if that's okay with you guys, I felt like this is a pretty nice reading. These cards are so beautiful in this spread, aren't they? So I'm going to use the Cosmic Tarot to clarify, if that's okay with you. So we'll spend a few minutes clarifying this reading, but I can go over it again. But I think that you'll get more benefit by watching the first reading and then this one. And I feel as though the energy is, I felt the same way about your reading, the first one. It's very clear. It's not a reading where there's too many, there's intricacies that you figure out, but that's not up for me to tell you. That's for you to direct yourself. But I feel beyond that, it's pretty a linear year. It's like, boom, this is what you're gonna do. You're kind of set up and you're going that direction, and just use it. Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio coming into your life. Some important message, or maybe this is you being highly open, emotionally open this year, Leo. Okay, so let's clarify the Sun, because I like it. I like it in that position. So let's see. The Sun, we have the Prince of Swords. Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Someone has a deep love for you. Someone understands something, and I think you hit a nerve with someone, and someone is quite obsessed, but not in a negative way, not in a stalker way. I feel as though someone trusts you, someone respects you, and someone wants to be your benefactor in some way. And this person could very well be in the background, so you may not be fully aware that they are there, but they are bringing to you the most positive energy. They love you so much, and they have such a respect for who you are and what you represent. The next message is the Moon. So the Priestess and the Moon, change and transformation within your dreams. So listen to your dreams this year, Leo. And I would really recommend doing a dream journal. I feel as though a lot of this isn't rational thought. So this is the other thing that I will say about your year. It's not a year in which you're calculating. It's not a year in which calculating behavior, deduction of what's right and wrong will get you as far as just trusting your intuition. Okay, so let's see. Let's clarify the Death card in the 6th house. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man. There's an event that happens that you cannot shake. There's an event that happens that you must accept. And I feel as though it could have to do with the health of a relative in which you will have to provide care and support. And so, so that's just going to be something matter of fact thing, but it's not going to take away from your general happiness. Then we have the 9 of Cups for the Hermit. So I feel as though your wish is being fulfilled. You are getting what you want out of life, especially in relationships. I forgot to mention the Chariot card in this position. This is the 9 of Cups in terms of the higher arcana. This is God giving you what you want, you know? So whatever it is that you need, whatever it is that you've been waiting for, is being provided for you in 2018. And I don't, the reason that I feel so secure and so balanced about this reading for you is that when looking at it, I feel like not only are you getting what you need from life, but you're also the person that you need to be in order to use it well. So it's an efficient reading. As a Virgo, I love efficiency, but it's an efficient reading. You got the Last Judgment just flipped out for the Star. Maybe the return of a past relationship. But yeah, this is an efficient reading in good environment, and the environment is consistently in the year improving for you. So the factors and the influences around you are positive contribution to your life, and they're leading you to good things. I can't say enough nice things about that. I'm happy for you. That's the kind of reading I like. Okay, so let's clarify the Tower. Let's see what's being destroyed for Leo in 2017 or 18. What was the thing that was the destruction? The High Priestess. So some type of identity was destroyed, but it's funny how they're right side by side. So one type of intuition made way for another type of intuition. And I feel as though there could have been, oh, you can see that moon between them. There could have been significant gossip about you by people who don't care. So we had the Eight of Cups. People who don't care, people who use cards and astrology in order to pull out of situations and circumstances deductions about others, spy on people. So you're dealing with kind of, you know, some morally corrupt type of people who use all sorts of divinatory techniques to try to understand others and thereby create a lot of drama. The card flipped out. I didn't really, because it became a mess, but it was, I'll tell you guys, it was the Two of Cups for sure. And I feel as though one of them is jealous over a man. Here we go, this card showed up. So I feel as though one is jealous over a man, and so that's motivated them. But you know, all this negative energy that they threw and created around you, Leo, is the same kind of energy that is going to pull you out, because they drew the spotlight to you. They drew the spotlight to you, and you were being virtuous. And at the end of the day, hopefully, sometimes behavior and character clarify negative gossip or negative, you know, representations by others, you know, so hateful messages and whatnot. The oncoming energy, the Fool, we have the Five of Wands. So I think you're stressed out about this. I think that, okay, I won't be shy to say it, but I do feel like there is the health condition of a family member that you're going to have to attend to. And it can be mental health, it could be physical health. Mental health is physical health, but we do separate it. So it can be a variety of different things. It doesn't have to be the end of the world, but someone around you is going to need you. And I don't think that it's going to be a question of whether you're going to provide that for them or not. It's just a matter of logistics, and I don't think the logistics are going to be hard either. I don't feel like there's not so much waste in your year. It's a year of, like I said, high efficiency, fulfillment, happiness, and protection. So I don't feel like there's events that happen, you know, health stuff happens. We all die from a health related condition, right? Like every single human being. So the Hanged Man is essentially just a facet of that someone close enough to you needs that help at this time. And I think you're not one to kind of not rise to that challenge. Seven of Wands, so it's like putting yourself out on a limb vis-a-vis other things. I think you're standing up against like an established corporate or institution, something that's already ratified, something that is, you know, within its framework, structured, it's old, it's kind of crackly, you know, it's a belief system that holds you back. And so here is let's clarify the Devil in that position. That doesn't, I feel like there's women who are jealous of you, Leo. Queen of Pentacles, holding you back through their own belief systems, belief structures, you know, getting you where they want you and holding you there. And it's your place to break away, if not to totally destroy those relationships, then to break away enough to be self-sufficient and independent and strong and move forward. I feel as though maybe for some of you this will be the relationship that needs your help, but I feel like you're strong, and I feel like you can handle it, where you can help someone and not take on their intrusions. You know, like, I don't know, the stereotype older people, and I'm not being ageist, but older people in some way, you know, telling you how to live your life. you're kind of in a certain way, maybe having to deal with that, but you're not internalizing it. So we had the Queen of Swords pop out. I feel as though there's a lot of women that are intruding, kind of like peeking in, trying to, and you're moving past it. You're just like, I'm done with this mess of a hen house, you know. And it can be a bunch of men as well. There's just people who are up your butt with their opinions, and I feel like you're just like, nope, nope, no thank you. I'm just gonna do me, and I'm gonna get out of life what I want. And there are people who deeply admire you, and there's more people who admire you than the haters. The haters are excuse me, the haters are just loud because they're trying to do something, right? Always remember that there's more good people out there than bad, but the way that we perceive it is that because the bad people kind of act up, they bring about the negative energy, and so it's more prominent because they're acting up. But there are more good people, and I think that you don't need to even sweat this. It's just, I think it gets so kind of out of control in a certain way that you're just like, you are ridiculous. Like, it's a gong show, like the perfect example of a gong show. And the world outcome, you got the world card. I mean, seriously, you're gonna get what you want. Just hunker down, do your own thing, Leo. I think it's really coming together for you. I hope you really enjoyed this reading. I really enjoyed giving it to you, and check out my other readings and the supplemental astrology readings, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much, Leo. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me, and welcome to this reading for September and October soulmate compatibility. I'm excited to be here with you guys to share this reading with you. I don't know what sign I'm reading for, but you guys already know. I play this game for, this is a new thing, but I kind of really like it. I also don't know what element we're going to read for, so we'll find out right now. We've had Earth come up a lot, so I wonder if it's going to be Earth. Here we go. So we have Libra, cool, and we have Earth. What do you know? Okay, so let's give it a go. So we're taking a look at Libra and the Earth signs. In terms of transits, it definitely is a Libra month because on the 21st of September we have the Sun and Mercury moving in to Libra, so that's going to be impactful significantly. Also, there is going to be a Venus in Libra retrograde at the end of October. So Venus is in Libra until the 5th of, or excuse me, until the 9th of September, and then it's going to retrograde back into Libra on the 5th of October. Sorry, I'm trying to set everything up by hand because I'm on a Windows 7 machine, and I know I've been hearing you guys say that you like Windows 7. I do too, but the machines that ran it are really out of date. It's funny how quickly technology changes, and things that would work even like 3 years ago don't really fit anymore. So okay, we're ready for Libra. Hey girl, hey, let's do it. Let's do it right. Okay, so this is your chart, and we're going to take a look at how your relationships will go with the Earth signs. I'm down. I'm a Virgo. So, okay, the first sign we're going to compare you with is Capricorn here. So we have a lot of transits in Libra. This is the chart for September 29th. So you will see also a new moon in Libra. Hey girl, hey. The new moon in Libra happens on the 8th of October. So I know it's still a while away, but that's going to be a time when you really blossom and really come into some things yourself. This year specifically, you have Ceres in Libra, which is goddess of nourishment. So there's a lot of bounty that comes along with a new moon, and there's just going to be an extra dose of positivity that is available to you. Okay, so let's take a look at Capricorn. So you guys have seen my Capricorn, or my, how do I call it, September Direct videos on YouTube. So go check those out if you haven't. I explain what happens in Capricorn between the end of August and the end of September. And it's really important for every sign. But today we're just talking about compatibility. So typically Libras and Capricorns have a rougher time finding common ground. They're both cardinal signs, so they start on the same foot kind of thing, or opposite foot, whatever. So they both like to lead, they both like to initiate things. However, Capricorn is your fourth house of home and family, so it brings you down to your place where you feel comfortable and at home. So there is that aspect to it. Saturn is in Capricorn right now, which is restricting their personality even more. That may make it more difficult for them to be flexible, which means that the onus is on you. So if you're like a Libra with, excuse me, with a Pisces moon, or let's say a Pisces moon and a rising sign of, I don't know, let's see, what's really Pisces moon and like an Aquarius rising or something, then you may be flexible enough to jive with Capricorn. But otherwise, if you have like a lot of Libra and Capricorn, you might have some things to work out, or if you're trying to find common ground in communication, it might be tough. Your first card is hopeful, though. Holy moly, we've started with the Two of Cups. So this comes through really strong right away. Two of Cups energy, which is love. This is Venus in Cancer, by the way. So loving energy. There is a love situation here. There is also the World card, Ascension. So there might be love that is far away from you that you have to access in some way. And Three of Crystals. So I feel as though a love from the past is leading you towards some type of work in the future. And I feel as though this is a love from the past that permeates forward and in some way tries to help you along. This is the relationship between Libra and Capricorn. I feel as though this person won't let you down and they don't want you to fall through the cracks. So they're trying to help you make the connection on your own so that you are self-sufficient and independent. Let's take a look at your universal love. So we have transmutation. This person is trying to help you change your life and change from one type of person to another. It's maybe taking some time for them to connect with you at that level, because I feel as though there's a lot to talk about from the past that you have to consider. And I think that some of those things are difficult to discuss. Some of those things are difficult to talk about. And I think that moving forward, there's such an element of work, either together or separate, but both or individual people have to work really hard now to take things forward. The next message is make the effort. So great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. I don't think that you are necessarily, I think that what it feels like to me is that you're feeling peril because there is a bit of a risk that is involved in changing things, and you don't know whether this energy from the past is able to carry things forward for you, if it's going to sustain in the way that it had before, and you kind of question its validity. I think that the thing that is making you somewhat cautious in this situation is the fact that there is great distance between you and this person in one way or another. So it's going to take a big leap of faith to make the effort and to transform and do all the things necessary in order to create the next step in your journey. But I think that as of now, for September and October, this feels very reassuring. And I feel like that person is coming in, that Capricorn is coming in to help and support you wholeheartedly. So they really want to take you on, commit, and I think they know what they're getting into. So I think they're fully open towards you at this time, okay? The next sign we're going to talk about is Taurus. And so we have a full moon in Taurus. Here, let me double check. We have a full moon in Taurus, that's right, at 1 degree Taurus on the 24th of October. That's the only transit in Taurus because we're kind of at the end of that spring and summer season. So Taurus does have Uranus retrograde in it, which is making it a lot less intense. They just kind of shot out of nowhere this year when Uranus went into Taurus. Taurus is your 8th house, so you don't naturally have a great understanding, but the sexual connection may be really strong, and there could be a lot of kind of closure situations around people who have sun, moon, and rising in Taurus, so they can bring in things to release you from past cycles and situations that have in some way held you back from evolving, from moving forward, and from getting stuck in a rut. But at this time, with this Uranus retrograde in Taurus, I feel like Tauruses are kind of like they're feeling it out, because suddenly in May they had this push of Uranus and Taurus, and they're like, yes, I've got the supercharged energy, and then suddenly it gets taken away, and I don't know how they feel about that. Here are your cards. So we have the 8 of Flames. I feel as though this has in the past been a very vocal relationship. There's been a lot of I love yous, kind words. It may have actually switched over to kind of aggressive communications as well if you guys got heated. This is Mercury in Sagittarius, and this time is really coming back around at the end of October on the 31st. That is when Mercury moves back into Sag, and so there will be a lot of opportunity to reminisce. I feel like this cycle is connected with the Venus retrograde that is happening in Libra. You guys are going to get a lot of these kinds of things coming back up. Everybody and their mama is going to come back into your life for closure, to sauce it out, to figure it out, and I think Taurus will as well. But they have something to tell you. I think they have something to tell you. They have learned something about the past, and now they want to share that with you. They're inspired, and they're excited to know you. They're excited that things went as they did. In fact, if you still know them, then I feel as though they want to take things further, and I think they're very inspired to do so. It's like they've bit the bullet, and now they're coming straight for you. The next message is this is a fiery relationship, Libra. So we have the 6 of Flames. This is success over all adversity. I feel as though people are proving themselves. There is a very sexual relationship. So this is the house of intimacy, right? So that kind of primal physical intimacy. And so I feel as though you are really making a deep connection with the Taurus here. Let's take a look at your cards. So we have the Guardian. This person feels like they're responsible for you. They feel like they need to take care of you. They want to tell you the truth about everything. The truth about everything. They want to be your second set of eyes. I think that they're 100% behind you. Here is the next message. Passion. Wow. Oh my God. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. I have to say that in so many years of doing these readings, I feel like this is like the most kind of hot one. I feel like this is the one. Like, it just feels super passionate. It feels super on, and I feel like the feeling is mutual, and you guys are excited to know one another. There's great truths that are being shared, and I think that the past is being set free, and you're seeing how the past is being carried forward, and it still holds ground. So good luck, Libra. I think I'm surprised because you guys oftentimes different vibes, different energy, but you're both ruled by Venus, and Venus is in retrograde, so all those kinds of miracles happen. So last but not least, Virgos. Hi, girl, hi. And so I would say that Virgos and Libras, I have a lot of Libra friends, but I was like recounting it. My Lilith is in Libra, so I was counting it on a live, and I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of Libras I've had like iffy times with, but as a Virgo, I actually really like Libras because you guys tend to kind of lead in friendships, whereas I get to hang back. And in some way, you guys really value our opinions. So that it's kind of like a reciprocal relationship where you guys are like the PR team and we're like the back end or whatever. So it usually goes well. Let's take a look at your cards. We have the 3 of Flames. Okay, so this has been a relationship where a lot of effort has been put into it, and now you are seeing things being put back in. There's reciprocity. 2 of Crystals. So this is the 2 of Swords. Crystals is, no, this is the Two of Pentacles. And so I think that you are trying to figure out how, one person is trying to figure out how the other person will come at them. And this is a part of the Virgo Libra dynamic. Like, what are you actually doing and what's actually going on? Now, for a Virgo, a Libra is good influence on us, sun, moon, and rising, because you guys are our second house. So you guys like brighten up financial gains. And so you give us a bit of a kick in the butt to work harder, to challenge ourselves, to progress and go further along. I feel as the Three of Wands has to do with having put effort in a particular direction a while ago, and now there's this kind of implementation and saucing things out to try to understand that how they will come out. The Five of Flames, I think that you're about to fall into a longer back and forth with this person. The back and forth is really about the fact that that things have not come to a fruition yet, and so there's a lot of wondering that's going on. If you're talking to one another, there's a lot of pondering, hypothetical conversations. If you are with a Virgo, I think it's really important in a relationship that you in some way back off of trying to pressure. They don't know any more than you do whether or not this ends in commitment or not. I think both of you are still waiting for for the chips to fall. Here is the next message. We have golden memories. Is this like touching on past relationships for one or both of you? Maybe this is your own relationship that it's touching on that's further back, but I feel as though this relationship for many of you is much more new than old. I feel like this relationship is much more current, and the golden memories have to do with things of the past and how the past affected you. Let's take a look at the romance angels, and we have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. These are such reassuring cards. I'm so happy for you. I think that things will work out in this relationship in the long run, and your worry is really, it maybe is justifiable, but it's maybe not necessarily something that you really need to struggle with. You can kind of let it go. And I feel as though if you're dealing with a Virgo, you see this little asteroid here, it's called Pallas Athene, and so she brings justice and order into the moral aspect of your relationships. And so I feel as though if you're dealing with a Virgo, they are even more prone to be fair and just with you, so I don't think you're going to get taken for a ride. Also, the Sun and Mercury will be in Virgo until the 22nd of September. So overall, Libra, I hope you liked the reading. Check out my other readings. I'm going to post these every week, so there will be a different element every week, and I hope that you guys are enjoying them. Let me know how you are doing. So all your videos for Libra are under this hashtag, but when you hashtag it in YouTube search, sometimes it doesn't come out. So if that's the case, then take off the hashtag and just YouTube search my first name and then your sign, and you should be able to find it. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you have a good day. Bye. Libra, thank you for joining me, and welcome to your horoscope spread for 2019. Last year I did this on Instagram, but this year we're just going to do it here on YouTube. I have 21 cards from the Thoth deck, and we're going to find out how your horoscope is set up this year, okay? So I'm going to just put the cards face down, and then we'll go through it together. This is your first card. I'm not sure how it's going to fit. I kind of brought the camera in closer, so we may have to squish it a little bit to make it work, but hopefully that will be okay. So let's see. Oh yeah, I think it'll fit. Yay. So if you guys are interested, I actually go in deeper into each of these positions, and I will explain to you what each one means. There we go. It'll be a little bit tight, but we're good. Okay. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to go into these positions on Vimeo, and I'll explain exactly each one means. Also, you can read these month by month as well, so they don't have to be necessarily just the houses, and I'll explain what the houses are if you're not familiar with them. But yeah, these can be months, so starting in January and ending in December over here. Okay, So let's see. Okay, so that's the cards. So let's find out what they say. Okay, so Happy New Year, you guys. And also I have a separate video coming out just for tarot, so you guys can check that out in the Libra playlist. Make sure you're always checking the playlist for all Libra videos. Also hashtag Varouche Libra. I'm not sure how long that's going to be up though. So your core energy for this year is the Hanged Man. Ooh, okay. So it is a very spiritual year for you, Libra. I feel like you are doing a lot of kind of intuitive work as opposed to logic work, and that came up in your tarot reading already for this year, for 2019. Certain circumstances may keep you bound to a situation that you are responsible to. There's some suggestion that you may have to make a personal sacrifice in order to kind of help someone else out who needs it in your family specifically. So the Hanged Man may mean that some of your plans will go on hold this year, and as you figure out other things and as you extend your energy to others. But it's going to be a fulfilling thing. It's not going to be frustrating or disappointing. It's going to be very fulfilling for you to do that. And I said in the other video that you most likely will do it voluntarily. So it's out of your own volition. It has nothing to do with, you know, trying to be coerced or encouraged to do something you don't want. Okay? So your first house represents January. It also represents the self. And so your first house is the Sagittarius, Aquarius card of the star. And so this means that it's a destined year. It's a destiny year for your personality. And I feel like serendipitous moments will happen in your life that will take your personality to new directions. You really need to go with your instincts this year. Really follow your instincts and start listening to your heart, listening to all those things to try to get the clearest answer about what you're supposed to do moving forward. Here is the next message. You have the sun in the second house. This means that it's going to be a very favorable year for you in terms of money. Jupiter was in this position last year, so now you are bearing the fruit of that transit. The next transit is for the third house where Jupiter is actually. So this is the card of Jupiter. So you guys get the Wheel of Fortune in this position. And so what that means is who you want to be is really crystallizing in a very specific manner, and it's being well received by other people, and you are able to share with others those those aspects of your identity. And so through that you are able to say, hey, this is me, and show the world and have that well received, and be well received in general. You'll be very likable this year. In the fourth house, this is a big one. So the mother, the Empress, this is where all the intense transits are. And I'll do a special video for astrology to explain what transits are there. But for those of you guys who are interested, it's the South Node, Saturn, and Pluto that are going to be in Capricorn for the majority of the year. With the Empress here, I feel as though for some of you, your responsibilities as mothers are going to be heightened and accentuated. And for some of you, this will mean a relationship with your mother that will be very pronounced. In your reading for the tarot overview, there was a crone figure, not to call your mothers old, but there is a crone figure who may be the person who you're turning to for all the advice, because it seems as though this person is very insightful. Here is the next message. In the fifth house, we have the Death card. This could be Scorpio in the fifth house, because it means that there will be a change in terms of what you like to do, what you enjoy, and the things that you choose to spend your time on. This can also mean that there's going to be a romance with a Scorpio that takes up some time this year. The next message is the High Priestess. On a day-to-day basis, intuition is going to guide your way. So you should really follow through on your intuitive inclinations or suggestions. Those are going to tell you which way to go and how to progress through things. The next message is the devil in the 7th house. And this is where you have Chiron transiting in your 7th house this year and for the next several years. So really be careful who you choose to be your partners and how you align that. The devil only works through malefic energy. So if you're being malefic, or if you are in some way working through your shadow energy, then this is going to be easier for this type of situation to really take hold of your life. So you really don't want, you want to be working through a virtuous energy, and especially with the Sagittarius, with the Hanged Man in the center, there's this kind of suspension. There's this sort of, this is like in some way purgatory. This is in some way you know, being really held accountable for one's actions, and it's a beautiful card, and it's a beautiful meaning. The meaning means that life is going to hold you in a specific place and time for a time being, that you won't be able to necessarily determine who, what, where, and why. However, it's going to teach you a very valuable life lesson that's going to elevate your consciousness. So it's a really hard card to get in the center, but it's also really quite beautiful. However, it's like when we are being very pure, when we are very pure, when we're being innocent, then the last thing we want to do is conflate that with a lot of unjust behavior and just a selfishness. So if you're dealing with a Libra and you're cross-watching, you know they have to be on their best, or they're going to be kind of really falling apart or not going in a good direction. For the 8th house, so the 8th house is August, right? We have Virgo, the Hermit. So a change that will lead you on a spirit quest. I'll tell you guys that came up in the tarot reading pretty much the same way. And then we have the 9th house, which is knowledge, insight, and this is long distance travel, change of home to a faraway place, or possibly there could be someone who is very significant to you who's coming into your life from very far away. So you're making that connection, Libra. This can also coincide with September, okay? Okay, so I'm trying to include the cards the best I can. And then we have the 10th house, which is October. We have the universe. So this is expansion. I think your focus is that of really expanding into the world, going somewhere else, expanding horizons, looking over yonder, you know, really kind of opening your mind to new directions. And I feel like you are meant to go in a specific direction and make a change at a certain point this year. I would not sweat too much this year, Libra. At a certain point this year, you are going to just cut your losses and make a change, and that change will be very drastic for you in your life. And I think that it will be the future forward. The next message is the moon. And so I feel like in your friends, changeable feelings, some of them very good, some of them questionable, trying to figure out who's who and what's what. There's a lot of sympathy, there's a lot of desire there, shared desire. Again, don't get into any kind of relationships that are in any way you know, shadowy or sketchy. In the 12th house, we have the Chariot, wonderful card for the 12th house, and this is December, so hopefully you can follow along in the months. In the Vimeo, I'll list it by the house that you guys rent or buy the video, and I'll explain what's inside of there. But your spirituality is going to be heightened, and one of the main themes for you for 2019 is really to do with your spirituality ascending, transforming, pushing forward, and making a complete change, a complete transformation. So what I want to do now is I'm going to take these to the side, and I'm going to show you guys how a reading looks on Vimeo, so that if you guys want to rent and or buy and support the channel, that would be great. I really appreciate comments as well on these videos, especially if you're watching in March or February or something, a few months in. Just make sure to comment and to like. Those things really matter, and they help the channel grow, and it's very good for me. So I hope that you guys are able to do that and support. Okay, so I'll show you guys how the Vimeo works by taking a look at the center card. The center card for you is the Hanged Man. And so this coincides with the property of being suspended in life a certain way, having to contend with the realities that are around you. Maybe being school ready to move on from school and still having to finish what you have begun. You know, it's kind of, there's a level of also sacrifice here for other people. This also came through in your other reading. Sacrifice for other people, putting your desires on the shelf for the betterment of others. So whatever you're putting out there will come back onto you tenfold. And like I said, you want to really lead a clean and healthy and positive life. Okay, so here, let's see your 10 cards. I think altogether, is it 10? No, it's 11 cards altogether, but here are your cards for this energy. So your first card is the 8 of Rods. A lot of time spent in the country, a lot of time spent with kind of rural areas. Love coming into your life quickly, providing comfort and support in times of need. The next message is the 10 of Rods. I feel as though there is considerable amount of work that you will have to attend to, and I feel like maybe some of the work stuff is really keeping you bound from doing some of the things that you want, but still you can continue working and moving forward. The next message is the 8 of Pentacles, and so this is another 8. Yep, so we have 2 8s, and this refers to hard work and dedication. I feel like in a certain way you have a goal that you want to make, and I think before you can move forward you have to learn a skill, or the skill of the thing that you want to learn, in order to have a way to get through the situation. The next message is we have the Fool, new beginning. Yep, it's definitely happening for you this year. You're definitely going to take a detour in life. You're going to go a different direction, a direction you've never thought before. The next message is the Queen of Rods. And so I feel as though this is a woman who is around you. She's a Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I feel as though she in some way is adding to your stress. She's adding to the workload, but it may be for a better reason. She may be giving you opportunities that you shouldn't pass by. Here is the last card from the tarot. We have the Page of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. There's some kind of offer that is being given to you. It's kind of like an initiation offer. If you take this route, then you will progress. It will take a lot of effort, but ultimately you will see an improvement based on the effort that you exert into this situation. So now we're going to break it up with a little bit of a positive affirmation card from Louise Hay. I really like this deck. This is the Heart Thoughts cards. And let's find out what message you have. I am pure spirit. Okay. I recognize the true beauty of my being. I am the spirit of love shining brightly. So I think that really refers to the Hanged Man in terms of the attitude that you should probably take on, the attitude that's best this year. It really has to do with really having a clear heart, clear intentions towards people and situations. Your next card is, we have Accept These Gifts of the Universe. So the universe seems to be giving you a lot of things, but they may be different than that which you were ready for, different than that which you are accustomed to. So there has to be some level of acceptance, some level of tolerance towards that which is being given. And really appreciate whatever's being given as an answer to the riddle of who you're becoming. And so even if it doesn't fit perfectly right away, just hold it, nurture it, and see what comes of it. The next message is, we have 4 Lenormand cards just to finish. We have the Cross, which is the responsibility towards someone or something. And then we have the Coffin, which means that responsibility, I think about mid-year, is going to change for you. So definitely maybe when, about mid-year, that responsibility may change for you, and make some transitions and transformations. Maybe in April, when we have the massive retrograde season, and maybe in April that will change, or possibly in March even. As early as late March into April, the change of the sacrifice that you are making towards someone else may be modified. You may not need to exert that energy in that direction anymore. The next message is the key. You will have an opportunity in a new direction. Horizons are going to open up for you, and you will get the privilege of attempting something new. And then also, this is the tree. I know it comes through really funny here. You can see it there. But the tree represents the fact that in whatever direction you're going, you're setting down roots in a new way. So you're setting down roots in a new direction, and you are in some way really getting grounded and committed to this new path and this new way, this new direction that you're taking. So I hope that you enjoyed this breakdown. So there'll be 12 videos for each of the cards that I picked earlier, right? And so it's not this one. I don't mean to scare you. Where is it? We start with the star. How about that's much better. So I'll go through the 12 houses and explain them for you on Vimeo in the same manner as I did here. Thanks so much for watching, Libra. I hope you guys have a wonderful 2019, and all your other videos will be on the Libra playlist. Thanks again. Take care. Hi Libra, thank you for joining me and welcome to your reading for December. I'm excited to be here with you guys and to show you this reading. This is your Vimeo spread from Vimeo and I'm going to explain which court cards you have coming up this month. After that, what we're going to do is take a look at the astrology. All the astrology groups this month are like clumped together by sign. It's really a coincidence, and we're going to use it to our advantage. So we'll do a reading around the astrology as well. And at the end, we'll do a full spread. So how about that? All in about 30 minutes. So hey girl, hey, let's do it up. Make sure to comment and like the video, and if you want to check out this full spread, go down into the description below. And of course, happy holidays. Thank you guys for all the support you guys given me this year, and can't wait for next year. So high five to you for that one. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. You actually have a lot of people running through your life this month, possibly. I mean, pages are always possibly people or possibly just events that are associated with people in your life. So there's this Page of Wands who's a Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I feel like you're like really overcoming things with this person. Either this person is integral with overcoming issues that you have been facing, or if you have had problems with a very youthful Sag, Leo, or Aries, things are really getting better and they're in some way really reconciling at this time. So good energy with that. This has a lot of positive energy behind it, like just optimism and good faith. So I think that that's leading to good outcomes. We have the Page of Cups who's a Pisces, a Cancer, or Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is something that is going to show up for you this month. This could actually mean a new relationship coming through. Notice the Two of Cups is your first card, so a new relationship becomes available, or possibly just a really solid connection with this person this month as well. And then there's two queens, aren't there always? There's the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Wands is a Sag, a Leo, or an Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your counselor or your counsel for the month. So this is the person you are meant to turn to when things are tough. It doesn't have to be a fire sign, but it is someone who has this very friendly and sunny disposition. And so in your moment of doubt, you turn to her and you console and you ask for direction, because you will be needing some direction this month. Look at this tower right at the end. I'll explain that in just a minute too, for those of you guys who don't want to get the Vimeo. The next person is the Queen of Pentacles, a Virgo, a Taurus, or a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I feel as though this relationship is improving for you, and feel free to interchange the gender of these people. It depends which energy they're working through. So this could be a man working through his feminine energy. It's totally fine. So just adjust it to your preference. But the Queen of Pentacles, she could be a friend. It could be a love interest that you're deepening a relationship with. But more than anything else, these two queens are providing you a lot of support and encouragement in moving forward. Okay, so that's it for the court cards, but let's talk about this. So there's this line here that showed up. Everything else is super positive except for the Tower. So there's this line here that showed up, and it's because of the position of this card that we do need to mention it. It looks as though there will be a circumstance you've been holding on to for some time that you don't know how to resolve and that you feel really bogged down by. So there will be feelings of worry or stress or concern. And I think that you will be, for whatever reason, I can't really tell, you might be bringing that up at the end of the month, or at the end of the month, to address it. So your life is going very well across the board, and then there's something in your back end. What that means is, like, behind the scenes, that is really troublesome for you, and you're really enjoying new directions and optimism, happiness, lots of friends coming in from far away. But I feel like you can't let a situation go, and that situation is troublesome for you, and I think by the end of the month you will in some way address it. I encourage you to be careful what you're leveraging, be careful what you are putting on the line, because it looks like you have a lot of positivity. So be careful what you are risking when you are throwing rocks at this tower, or when you're initiating this tower moment. It definitely will be your choice, but I feel like maybe circumstances will lead you up to facing this decision. There are a couple eclipses in January that we are all preparing for in December. So December is not actually a closing month astrologically. It's a holding pattern, and the closing month and the initiating month will be January, with the eclipse in Capricorn and the eclipse in Leo. So in December there will be a lot of relationships and circumstances reaching kind of a pinnacle point at which it's going to feel very dense energy, like very dense energy that you feel you want to address. Okay, so that's that. And now let's take a look at your astrology, right? So I have these cards. This is the Templar Tarot, and we're just going to do 4 charts, and then we'll do the full spread. Okay, so in the beginning of December, it's all about Scorpio, and what we see here is Venus moving into Scorpio on the 2nd after she's finished her retrograde. There will be no retrogrades in 2019, so hey girl, hey. For you, Scorpio is the 2nd house of money, so we're talking about money, and Venus is the natural ruler of the 2nd house, so she really likes being in this sign. Venus in Scorpio is one of those transits I adore. There are several transits in Scorpio that I think are amazing. The moon in Scorpio, which is my favorite aspect probably from them all. I love Pluto in Scorpio, which is a whole generation of people born between 1983 and I think 1992. And then Venus in Scorpio. They're just really badass transits. So if you have those, that's great. High five to you on that. Mercury will also move back into Scorpio as it goes retrograde, just in the last few degrees, and then we'll move direct on the 6th of December. So it'll move in on the 1st of December and then finish its retrograde motion and move forward again. So in that little time period of about 3 or 4 days between about the 2nd and the 6th, you really have some opportunities to make some decisions financially. This will not be new stuff. This will be stuff that you have been eyeing for some time. So if you've been waiting for like a good opportunity to push forward with a financial goal or an ambition, something you want to put into action, especially if it has to do with communication, music, art, whatever, that's the time to do that. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. We have the 10 of Wands. So I feel like you are struggling with a lot on your hands, and then we have the 3 of Wands, and then we have the 2 of Swords and the Knight of Cups. So I think that you have been waiting for a clearing to push forward with something that's really within your heart. I actually think this is you, Libra. I think that this is you putting into action something that you really want to see happen. So this is the North Node starting its transit in Cancer right at the beginning of December. It's only been in Cancer for like 2 weeks at this point. So the focal point in your life is going to be career, and all these transits in Scorpio are going to initiate that. So a lot of the things that you have been struggling with, especially like task-oriented things, feeling overwhelmed by having too many things to do, I think that those things are going to taper out. I don't think it's going to feel as intense as it did in 2018 or even 2017. And I feel like some things will come in for you, especially things that you have been working towards. So if you've already made something and you've put it out on the market, the reward will come in now. And then you'll also find mental clarity on the issue. And this is also Venus moving into Scorpio after she's retrograded through this transit. So this is really allowing for pushing forward and on a clean slate, and Mercury in Scorpio will help to articulate, again, being cleared now with the retrograde period, allowing to articulate what your intentions are clearly and accurately to the people around you. So this is you being all Venus and Mercury up, getting ready to communicate what you want. This could also mean that somebody, after peace is restored, somebody actually says something that is helpful and necessary to your possibly financial circumstances, but possibly interpersonal relationships as well. But it is something that evolves around money, okay? So this is the second chart. The second set of transits are in Sag. Right, they're in Sag. There's a new moon in Sag on the 7th, and which you don't see here, the moon. This is the chart for the 9th. So there's a new moon in Sag on the 7th, and Mercury moves back into Sag on the 12th. Very big month for you in terms of communication. Again, art, music, whatever you communicate, writing, all forms of communication. This is the time to really initiate this, especially with the new moon on the 7th of December in Sagittarius. That's when you're going to see the energy of Jupiter interact with the new moon and push forward a series of about 12 months of good communication. So whatever you have been working on, this is the time to put it into action or initiate it if it's just been in the brainstorming stages. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. We have the Magician. That's the natural ruler of this third house. So this is Mercury, the god of communication. So I feel like this is you being a wordsmith. This is you having the ability to manage communication well. Then we have the King of Wands, a Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This can suggest that there's some philanthropy happening around you, where people such as investors are coming into your life to help to make those visions a reality. Here is the next message. We have the Queen of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and the King of Pentacles. Ooh, Libra, look at this. A Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is almost like you're in the company of all these people. You know, you're in the company of some pretty upstanding people. Notice that how they're all like kings and queens. When you have two kings like this, it always means that there's like a lot of success. There's a lot of positivity, a good movement forward, lots of opportunity. I feel like you're surrounded by good people who help you through to your ideas, who help you manifest and create. Maybe they've seen something in you that they like, and so they support you and reinforce those personal strengths of yours. So this is good stuff, and I think that you can kind of play a little bit in December. I think Magician always means that things get lighthearted a little bit. You're having a little bit of fun. Things are coming with a gentle step, and things are a little bit easier. So sounds very good for the new moon. And the third set of transits have to do with Cancer and Capricorn. So let me show you this. So there's a full moon in Cancer on the 22nd. It's up here in your 10th house of career. I do feel like this is a lot, as you can tell already, there's a lot to do with like getting things done, putting yourself out there, being successful. There is going to be some transits very soon, especially, I'll tell you guys about this next, to do with partnerships. But the emphasis is really about setting yourself up. Also, the sun moves into your 4th house of home and family on the 21st in Capricorn. What this is going to kind of solidify is this massive, massive transit here. So wherever Capricorn is in your chart, for the next 2 years, there's this huge emphasis of energy in that area of your life. And for you, it's home and family. And I feel like there is a lot of karmic things going on. You're probably one of the signs that is most susceptible to these transits because it's alongside your IC. So karma alongside this line right here is always really potent because families carry karma together. And so you have this like interrelated fabric of energy that's coming together through this time. So when the sun moves into Capricorn in your 4th house, you start seeing a lot of patterns. You might see a lot of huge things happen in your life around family issues. You know, whatever has been kind of the narrative of your family experience, it just might become heightened or become a little bit deep. The South Node denotes past lives, right? And the Pluto is, to me, always cosmic karma, which is like way bigger than past lives. It's like the total whole, the scope is way bigger than that which we individually understand. And Saturn is just the crap you've done in the last 29 years. So I feel like all of these energies are interacting together. So these are like pretty much the 3 karmic transits, and they're together at the same time, and the sun is coming in to illuminate this very powerful energy. Also, the solar eclipse happens at 15 degrees of Capricorn on January 5th. So as the sun enters on the 21st, we're already preparing ourselves for that that solar eclipse, and that's something new. Solar eclipses bring something new in. This could be a new family member. This could be something really positive. So make sure that for the 2 weeks leading up to the 5th of January, you're really treating your family and home with the best kind of care and attention so that the energy is very solid and receptive to positivity, okay? So the full moon in Cancer has more to do with your career. That's more the tempo of December. And so I feel like it's just going to bring in the maturation of something you've been putting energy behind, especially if you've been working on communications, on money issues, whatever. I just think that that's going to help you solidify. If something's not working in your career, you're going to be sucked right into your family issues. So you're not going to even have time to worry about a career thing changing on you. It's very much a focused energy that is not going to allow you to, in some way, kind of remain idle. If it's not one thing and it's another. So the first card that flew out, ooh, the devil flew out. Now, don't freak out yet. So the devil rules the sign of Capricorn. So I think that what it's referring to is that the emphasis is really here in the 4th house of home and family. But you have to address the North Node. The North Node is all by itself up here at this time. So when a transit like the moon or something reaches it, it's going to be very empowering. So you should definitely be looking at your career, because this is kind of like the arrow you should be going. It's giving you insight about which way to go and which way to focus your energy. The next card is the King of Wands. He's a Sag, Leo, or Aries. So notice that he's come up a couple times. Now that could be you, or that could be somebody who's helping to manage a situation or influence a situation in a positive direction. The next message is the 7 of Pentacles. So this is, I know this looks like a struggle for money, but the 7 of Pentacles, maybe a struggle within yourself, on what to do with your finances, how to apply your energy. Remember, time is money also. So this is like you figuring out where to invest all the money that you have been saving up, or all the money you've been organizing, figuring out how to best use your time to have like a long-term outlook. The next message is the 9 of Rods. And so I feel as though you're gonna take some time apart, and this is maybe you focusing on your home and family, taking a step back and taking a look at things and really considering where you stand with things and where is the best direction. So I think what this is saying is that somebody's going to provide you some counsel, somebody's going to give you some advice, maybe take your attention back into the home, because you're naturally going to be directed towards career. So they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute, pay attention to this family issue issue. It's really important right now. So that might be a part of the information, and then you're going to have to kind of struggle a little bit and contend to figure out what is the best use of your time. Okay, so that is that. And we have just one more transit, but it's in your partnership house. Hey girl, hey. So in the 7th house is when, on the 31st of December, Happy New Year, guys, that's when Mars moves into your 7th house of partnership. So this is going to be the time in which you can tell someone that you love them, or that kiss underneath the whatever on midnight, that might be a real hit for you this year. Also, the moon is in your 2nd house of money, so this is also the house of appearance, so you'll be really looking good on New Year's Eve. So hey girl, hey, how about that? So whatever it is, I feel like this transit, Mars and Aries, will really help you set some ideas of what you're looking for in partnership, or really think about where you've been with partnerships, where you want to go with things, and you're going to take some pragmatic steps to move things along, move things forward. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. Your first message is the Chariot, which is the card of Cancer. Hey girl, hey. And so you want to kind of think about partnerships also in terms of business, because the North Node is in your 10th house. So you could be in some way making plans for business partnerships. Maybe some of the awareness of family issues are now empowering you to think about where to take things in business with other people. Did you notice the Grand Trine here? This is the big giant triangle here. It's actually a kite, because you see that here. Is it a kite? It's almost a kite. It's almost a kite off of Pluto. Or actually the South Node, sorry. It is a kite off the South Node. So hey girl, hey, and then off of Venus, it looks like something like that. Very, very close. It'll be in the next few days. But definitely a Grand Trine here with Mars. So there will be a lot of positive energy forward. Notice this is the 2nd house of money, this is the 10th house of career, and this is business partnerships sometimes. So this could be like a breakthrough moment. This is, the Chariot is success in business as well, so you could in some way be really kind of signaling in on figuring out which direction is best to go. The next message is the Knight of Swords, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. In my other deck, it's Sun and Scorpio, so this could be something else. But this could also be you figuring out a path to go on, like really figuring out what to go after and how to set up yourself in terms of love, partnership, or business partnership. The next message is Queen of Cups, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. There will be somebody who's giving you counsel, and I think that this is a sensitive person and someone who is able to perceive nuanced things and lead you in a positive direction. Your last card for this deck is the 6 of Cups, which is the soulmate card. Hey girl, hey. This is actually the common card associated with Sun and Scorpio, so there is some kind of indication that maybe a Scorpio's around who is helping you along the way. Or this is also nostalgia, like really thinking about where your value's at and where you want to see things grow, where you want to go forward. This could be also a very special connection with one of these people, either a water sign or an air sign. So Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. That's half the signs, so hey girl, hey, you know which one it is. It could also be a Cancer, because the Chariot is Cancer, so it's all of these different options in front of you. So hey girl, hey. Do you guys want to do another reading? Why don't we do just a general overview for December? If you haven't liked the video yet, then please do so now. And yeah, we're almost there. Almost the last monthly reading of the year. There'll be other ones in between too, so check that out. And also the Vimeo reading is down below. I might put in a second set of videos. I'm not sure right now. I probably will though. So the second reading I'm doing is with the Klimt Tarot. I really, really like this deck. It's really pretty. And it's really well done. It's not actual Klimt paintings, but it's illustrations based on his style of art. So very nice stuff there. Okay, so let's see what you guys got. So we have the 7 of Swords, trying to figure out a path forward, trying to figure out which way to go, trying to kind of move forward in a way that is good for you, moving away from problems towards more stable ground. You may be sensing some instability throughout this month. Remember that whole line that was like the Nine of Swords and the Hanged Man and the Eight of Swords. I think that this is a part of that. Like, to the world, everything is fine, everything's copacetic, but then maybe internally you are doing a little bit of the hustle, you are struggling a little bit because maybe things are not as stable as it appears. The next message is, but it's all part of the growth process, so don't worry. It's not like I'm not telling you that like your world's about to cave in. It's just you're challenged, so you change, right? Can somebody quote me, "You're challenged, so you change," and I'll make an Instagram post around that. So we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is all about getting more out of relationships. This month, the mentality should be, what are you getting out of relationships you're putting energy into? Is it a one-sided street, or is it a two-way road? And I think that you have the really good transits to do your own thing. So if you're in a relationship that is in some way taking away from you and not giving back, this is the time to release and go your own direction. And especially that full moon in Cancer in your 10th house will really empower you to go in a direction that's right for you. Okay? That doesn't mean you have to break up with someone, but if you're in some way kind of waiting for the right time, December will be it. Here is the next message, and I would recommend that you do it before the eclipses so you can deal with the eclipses with like energy actually can grow from a bit more. Okay, so the next card is the Six of Cups. Remember, we got this in your astrological overview reading a moment ago. So this is the same message. It could be Sun in Scorpio who is influencing you at this time. Or maybe this is dealing out situations and circumstances from when the Sun was in Scorpio just not too long ago, right? So that was like less than a month ago in December. So yeah, maybe some of that. On the surface, I think that you're showing grace and gratitude to the people around you, but I think internally you're really trying to figure things out, which way to go, which way is the right path, which direction to leave behind. The next message is the Four of Pentacles. So maybe you're the one who's not willing to share so much at this time. So you may be thinking to yourself, oh, maybe this is not going to give to me what I need it to, or maybe you're questioning the trust in the situation because maybe of past experiences. It could be within this relationship or another one, and so you could be in some way kind of questioning your environment. That's a good thing to do. I don't discourage the Four of Pentacles. I think it has a time and a place. So if you feel unstable and somebody's asking you to give a lot of yourself, then you have a perfect right to say no and kind of back out of a situation, right? Here is the next message. We have the Prince or the Knight of Chalices. So I feel as though this is a person who's coming through. This could be the Scorpio. It's a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I feel like this person has something to give to you. They have something to give to you in the way of like energy to move forward. They could very well be a Pisces person, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Somebody who wants to give you energetically a push forward. So I think that your interaction with this person will move things along for you in a positive direction that you've been waiting for. So on your own, I feel like maybe you're a little bit stagnant, and with this person coming in, you're starting to move forward, move ahead with things. You find the mobility to find the next step, to find the right direction. The heart of the matter is the Ace, the Magician. Look at him go again. So that's you. So this is like the Magician. Everybody gets to be the Magician sometimes, right? There's always times in your life when you have the right energy around you and everything is kind of playful and you can change things around. I would really recommend that you don't waste those times on subpar relationships and circumstances that are not doing you justice. I think you should know that this is a tentative energy that will leave you behind. And at a certain point in time, it's like musical chairs. At some point, you're going to have to get off the magician chair and go find another seat, right? And so I feel like maybe this is why you are being tentative, because you know it's like a really good time for you to make certain changes and adjust your life in good directions. So maybe you're not feeling so open to settling down for any one person or situation too easily unless it's a really, really good option for you. Also, Uranus is in your 7th house of partnership. It'll only be there for another 3 or 4 months, and then it'll be gone there, out of there for the rest of your life. So I feel like that change is going to also bring a precedent and like a focus of how much time do I want to give to each person, because I think you sense that time is precious at this time for you, and you don't want to waste these good energies on circumstances that are in some way less than positive in your life, you know, or maybe even positive, but maybe like more tepid than good. Here is the next message. We have the Chariot card again. So this is your success, right, Libra? So this is your success. This is you kind of glowing up in the world. So why don't we take a look? When I'm looking at the chart to the side when I'm pulling these, and so I'm looking straight here at Cancer in your 10th house of career. So it's like this is, you see the path through and you're being asked to take it and unapologetically move forward towards a direction that's right for you. Here is the next message. We have the Ace of Wands. So somebody is offering some kind of spiritual new beginning. Somebody feels a lot of motivation towards you. They feel encouragement. They feel passion. This could be a Scorpio, very likely a Scorpio or a Pisces. But I feel like there's this kind of, this is also financial investment. So that King of Wands that was coming up in your readings before, that person could be, somebody could be offering you money to supplement your business goals and ideas as well. This is coming from your environment. And this is Mercury. So this is the house here. I'll explain it a little bit clearer. This is the 3rd house of communication. So this coincides with this position here. And Jupiter is the planet of good luck and opportunity. So you should be pretty excited on this energy here at this time. And it could be coming through a person who's a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Okay. Here is the next message. We have the King of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. I feel like there's somebody who's managing the issue. This person is not fully involved or invested or even interested in the situation, but this person likes to have their influence in many different circumstances. So they really like to manage a circumstance on many different fronts, right? This guy always reminds me of the Little Prince, when there's the accountant and the prince goes up to see the accountant and the accountant is counting everything up. And so I feel like this is like the accountant, the person who is in some way managing everything from a level that none of us are pedantic enough to do so from. And so I feel like this King of Pentacles is in some way, but he's not too interested in this situation. He's just there, and just because he holds quite a bit of power, possibly to do with money, this person is just kind of in some way putting a little bit of weight here, Libra, so you'll understand this, putting a little bit of extra weight in the situation in his direction just by virtue of being there, you know. It's like a famous person walks into a store and maybe they don't want to talk to everybody else, but just the fact that they're there kind of outweighs all the other things that are going on, even though that person is not specifically too interested in any of the circumstances that are happening in that space. Here is the next message. We have, the stars. I thought it was the Tower. I was like, my heart broke for you. But this is like soulmate coming in for you, Libra. Holy crap. Okay, this is also the card of Aquarius. Something magical is going to happen for you at the end of the the month. And I feel like you should be very patient with these energies. Remember, the last card I had in the Vimeo was the Tower. And the Tower and the Star together is a very, very powerful combination that's saying that a quick change will lead you into the right direction and possibly into a soulmate relationship. On the bottom, we have the Knight of Wands. He is a Sag, a Leo, or an Aries. So some fated event is happening in your life. And I feel like you're achieving a greater sense of stability by moving forward in a new direction. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye. Hi Libra, thank you for joining me and welcome to this reading for your soulmate love reading for 2018. I have a very special deck that I haven't used in a while. As you can see, the back is white because this is a self-published deck from I think the 80s, but it's a fine art deck. It's called the Angel Tarot, Engel, which is in German, and so this is the Angel Tarot. I absolutely love it and I'm super excited to be able to do this reading for you guys. So we're going to do the heart spread. If you haven't seen me do my heart spread, I'll walk you guys through it. It doesn't matter if you're a couple or a single Libra. This will definitely give you some perspective about your life in the oncoming year. So why don't we take a look at your cards. Your first card is, so you have the Justice card. Okay, so this is your card, and so this is bringing balance into situations, bringing balance and order into situations, and focus. So I think that from your January reading, it looked like you started the year kind of backwards. Things were not necessarily working out in the way that you had hoped, but already by the end of the month, you were seeing a really positive turnaround with a lot of different improvements with regard to your life. And so much so, and especially in love, there was some kind of commitment that was forming. I feel like it's the earth sign king, the king of pentacles, or Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. I really feel like it's a Virgo though. I really do. I don't know why. And I don't think I've predicted that for you guys before, but I think it is Virgo for many of you. Maybe Taurus. Capricorns feel, I feel like a super earthy energy for you for January. Anyway, moving forward, I think that there will be some type of working out of a commitment. I think you're moving through stages and things, and I think your events in 2018 revolve a lot around your home and family life, and they will continue to do so for the next 2 or 3 years. So I think that depending on where you are in the relationship stage of the game. I mean, if you're just young, if you're 17 and watching this, or 18 and watching this, home and family is not where you're kind of planning with your partner. You're looking to maybe move in with them or maybe have some fun and travel with them. But if you're older, like if you're in your 50s, then this focus in the home and family would be very relevant for you and your relationship. So keep that in mind, that it's all depends on where you are in your life progress and who you are as a person as well. But in terms of relationships, we have this Justice card here, which is kind of bringing balance and order into situations, really kind of putting things in focus, making it fair between people. Now, this is the shared point between you and your partner. If you have a partner, this is where you guys are at the beginning of the year. But if you don't have a partner, this card represents that partner that's coming down the road, that soulmate, the twin flame, the true love that's coming down for you. This is where they are at. So this reading actually gives you a perspective on where that person is or what's going on for them. So most likely, just like you, they're trying to reattain balance in their life in order to be able to move forward in a relationship. I feel as though your relationship with them, whether you know them or not, was impacted by unfair events leading up to 2018. What I mean when I say that is that something unfair has happened for you or them or both of you that has kept the relationship separate. And so that separation was actually the problem that was leading into 2018, and the problem why you haven't met that person yet if you are still quote unquote single. And so in 2018 we start off the year with balancing things out for you. You're really bringing into balance and order your life circumstances, and so are they, and that is what is starting the year. So the next card right here, the two cards, are your highest ideals. This is what you are looking for in a relationship. So your first card is, so this is the Strength card, the card of Leo. You start off the year in regaining personal strength and empowerment. I feel as though in that the full moon eclipse at the end of January in 2018 is in your 11th house. This is the house of friends. And so I feel as though people have taken away from you your nature and your identity, so much so that you don't have that this is who I am, and this is who I am, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm about. I think that you've fallen into compromise with so many people that has overshadowed who you've been, so much so that it became toxic. And now you are reaffirming your identity. This is a strong identity card. You're reaffirming your identity and pushing forward in order to kind of put down your kind of like make your territory. This is me, this is what I'm about, and then I will go on and make my relationships with other people. It's a really good step. So next we have the Devil. So I think that you're looking for a less serious time. I feel as though you've been imposed upon, Libra. I really feel like the people you're leaving in January, or maybe even right after, it's almost like you don't let them know how they've made you feel, but they've really hit something deep in your heart, in the sense that you, because you're cordial and because you allow it to happen, and I'm not saying you're a doormat, but because you see compromise in situations and relationships as the best way to resolve that relationship, I feel as though you've allowed certain things to happen to such a degree that it's taken away from your identity, like I said, and from your having fun. And all these people have trampled you. And I feel like the Devil isn't necessarily a bad thing here. I feel like you're not having fun. You're not living life in the way that you had hoped to live your life. You're not living your life in the way that you had chosen to live your life or sought to live your life. And the Devil is this kind of, I'm going to put the blinders on. I'm not going to be perfect to everyone, but I'm going to fight for myself a little bit more. So in what you're looking for in a relationship is maybe a little bit of passion and sex. The Devil does represent sex, and so does the Strength card. So you do have this kind of, you may want to liven things up in your life, take things a little bit more easy, and a little bit less kind of cerebral, and a little bit more just carefree and enjoying the moment with the new people that you're meeting. Here is the next message. So this is what your partner's ideal in the relationship is. If you don't know your partner, this is where their head is at right now, or what they're seeking. So your first card is, this is the World. So your partner's looking to travel. They really want the completion of design. They really want to finalize circumstances. They really want to put an end to things. They want to complete a cycle with you. They want to complete they want to complete everything. They want to have marriage, children, the whole thing. If you're past that age of having kids, then that person that you're looking for, or that person that you have, really wants the total commitment. They want the whole interaction, the whole enmeshment, you know, the perfect enmeshment. The next card that they want is the Hierophant. So your partner's looking to get married. Your partner's looking for a deeper commitment. They want community. They want that deeper connection. They want that true resonance between yourself and them. And I feel as though what looks like from the start point that you want something that's a lot more casual than what they're going after, but this is your true flame and soulmate. So this is about you guys working it out. This isn't about like some random person off, the side of the street or off the internet. This is someone who's you're meant to be with, someone you're meant to be connected with. And yeah, so the next card for you guys, so these two positions for you and your partner have to do with like what happens as the next step. So maybe about mid-month, what is the general energy? And what you have is, what is this? The Hierophant, and so this is the Emperor. And so I feel as though maybe you're looking to establish a business, you're looking to really partner up with someone. Maybe there's a marriage that you're looking for. Maybe you want to be the emperor. You want to have kind of some type of authority with regard to situations. You want to move forward with your ideals and goals. For your partner, what they're looking for is the last judgment. So they're looking to make a big decision and a change. I think your partner looks like they are maybe trying to change communities, change identity. Not like an identity change, but maybe they want to resonate with like a different community. Maybe they've been like in a Christian community all their life and now they're looking for a pagan community. It doesn't have to be so stark as that. Maybe they've been, into soccer all their life and now they're looking to hook up with a basketball team or something like that. So there is this kind of change in direction that I think that they're looking for, and they're looking for like a squad. They're looking for like a group of people that they can resonate with, and I think that they'll make a decision about that mid-year this year. Okay, so these are advice cards, 2 advice cards each as to how to proceed in order to build this relationship. So you have the Sun, so you need to have confidence that you are going in the right direction. You need to have confidence, marvel in your beauty, marvel in your happiness, be grateful for what you have, know that good things are coming for you, and have confidence so that when this person sees you, you're like bright and shiny and you're so confident as to who you are, and there's no negotiation there, there's no question about your validity and your personal influence in the situation. There's just no room for worry. There's no room for concern that this is not going to be the right situation. I feel as though this person may have a tendency to be very temperamental. They may have this energy to be like, oh, I don't know, or maybe a little skittish, because I think they're too hypervigilant about seeking what they want, and because they're so hypervigilant, they project that onto everyone around them, right? The next card of advice is the Hanged Man. So expect delays. Nothing's going to come perfect. And I think that it's really hard for a person to receive the Hanged Man when they've been waiting or dealing with a situation so long. So I'm not saying that haphazardly, or like, oh, just wait like another few months and it'll be fine. You're good, because I can appreciate how difficult or how annoying that can be to have to wait out situations and wait out life to catch up to where you are. And I think, and I say that with full sympathy, but I think that I would draw on, in terms of advice, I would say draw on the happiness, the joy in your life. The Hanged Man is also about sacrifice, and so sacrificing something that you have going for yourself in order to gain a better balance between yourself and others is definitely to your betterment this year. So enjoy in the happiness. Maybe you will be coming together with your partner. I feel as though you'll be seeking a sexual relationship before any type of other relationship, maybe because you're so distracted by home and family issues this year that you got to keep it simple with your partner, but maybe through that you will find someone. So there's like a saying that people these days, they don't fall in love, but they have sex until they fall in love, and then they find themselves in love. So it's like kind of like that, but you don't do it so intentionally. You're not avoidant of a relationship, but I think you're quite distracted, and I think that he's coming around and he's making certain changes, or she, and they are going to like change the way that what they are open to. And when they change what they are open to, I think that the doors are going to open for you, but you're going to have to take a hit for it too, which is the Hanged Man. So like either you're going to have to move, give up a job, you're going to have to change something, you're going to have to give up something in order to build this relationship. So this is advice cards for your partner. If you don't know your partner, this is just giving you an advice of like what's going on for him, or where things are going. So first we have Art and Temperance. This is the card of Sagittarius. So I think that they're being too black and white about things, and so the advice is that they really need to tone that down. They really need to kind of be more kind of middle of the road, kind of like find like congruency in the little compromises. And in fact, for you, I feel like you're so worn out from compromising that this year you're not necessarily so ready to teach other people to compromise as you compromise, because you're kind of like, okay, well, just because I'm good at it doesn't mean I have to take all these hits for it and minimize my life for other people, which you're fine to do, but there's a limit, and I think you've reached that limit, and I think that you're tired of that limit, right? So the next card this is another advice for you and for your partner specifically. Sorry, if you know your partner, that's what you can tell them, like, you need to chill out. Varush says chill out, because this is the card of chilling out. This is the card of like saying, okay, I can't work with A and I can't work with B, so why don't we make a C, which is a mesh of the two, and figure out something in the middle. Your partner needs to, this is the Fool, right? So your partner really needs to, in a certain way, take a different direction with things. And I think that your partner needs to make a change in their life, and that's what is going to be the catalyst for the change and transformation that's going on for you. The outcome card is, so this is the World card. Okay, so this is the World card coming through. I don't know what this one is, sorry. That's okay. The outcome is, this is completion. Oh, this is the Moon. Sorry. Okay, I got confused because it says Mond, but Mond is the Moon in German. I don't know German at all. I have a really hard time with it. Anyway, but I love the card, so it's worth it. So we have the Moon as your outcome card for your relationship. I feel as though it's almost like at the end of the year, it's like there's a deep attraction between you and your partner. You both have had this massive year with this really unique journey, with this very unique journey, very unique kind of experience of a journey. And so it's like the implicit thing that hasn't been said between you is what you share when you look at each other, the understanding of the experiences that you have each lived through that have led you to the end of the year. And it's beautiful. It really is beautiful, Libra. I think your partner's done a lot of growing up. That's what I would say. Whether you know them or not, they have, and that was the main message that they've had to work through. So if you do know them, you can just tell them to grow up and chill out, and that's the answer to their year. Whereas for you, I think it's more about kind of taking ownership over your own life, setting up your own boundaries, but yet still be willing to compromise and find an appropriate space to give back and move out of your own way so that you can find congruency. The Moon is also secret, so I do have to tell you that by the end of the year, there might be a lot of deep conversations that you and your partner will have to have. I do feel like, in terms of whether you know your partner or not, your year is sort of
separate. You have separate agendas this year, whereas you're working on your stuff, they're working on theirs. It's not so much so heavily connected, although that doesn't mean that you're not going to be together. It just means that your partner needs to find a new identity, and you found your identity, you've never lost it, but I feel like you have to define your identity vis-a-vis other people and find confidence within that, take ownership over things, and stick up for yourself and really go after that which you know is yours. And so when you do so, you kind of you send shocks to the people who are around you, namely your partner. If you do know them, it's like for them, you're becoming a different person. So they have to learn to live with that. They have to learn to resonate with that. It's not that they won't like you, it's just they have to learn to relate a different way while they're going through a change as well. So at the end of the year, the moon is very appropriate, but this is a super seductive and attractive an attractive card. So I feel like for you, Libra, this year, it's all about seduction. For your partner, I feel sports. Not necessarily just athletics, and not everybody's an athlete, but I do feel like a more practical, hands-on experience of what they want to achieve, of the things that they want to get to. And so they're just trying to put their life into the right order, whereas you're just trying to stand up for yourself. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this big reading. As you know, I only use the higher arcana because this spread only has, this is an archetypal spread. I hope you guys have a wonderful year in love. We'll definitely do some follow-ups down the line. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. All your 2018s are in the About section, so go check that out. If you want to clarify love, I do have the horoscope spread on Vimeo available in the below section for rental. If you guys want to support me in the channel, go hit that up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk with you soon. Bye, Libra.
Guys, thanks for joining me, and welcome to this reading for your Jupiter in Sagittarius. We have 4 signs left. I'm going to read for this one. And yeah, I'm excited to take a look at which cards I get. The first 3 cards I choose are from the Syrian Starseed Tarot, and those are really nice overall messages before I find out what the specific sign is. Okay, so here are your cards. We have the 8 of Swords, we have the Tower. Oh, this again, hey, this has come up for a lot of people. In the 8 of Flames. I did choose from the center just because I wanted to make sure that it was completely random. I feel as though you will stop trying to solve a problem and try and begin throwing positive energy in order to create a solution. So I think that you've come to a understanding that you no longer can try to resolve a situation or a circumstance that you're involved in through reason alone. You're going to have to simply take a look at things as they are, but also be really hopeful about the direction that your life is going and where things are going to evolve. And sometimes you have to suspend your reason for a better outcome. Sometimes you have to suspend your logic for a solution that is illogical, or other people would call illogical. Okay, the sign we are reading for is, we have the Justice card. Okay, so this is Libra. So hi Libra, how are you doing? So I think that there's no more room for you to try to make sense of what's been going on in your life. And I think you are very reason-based as a sign, and now it's time for you to forego that and throw spirit at the circumstance. This is actually Mercury in Sagittarius. This card is ruled by Mercury in Sag, and so you are no longer able to in any way reconcile reason. The reason, any logical explanation of the situations you have been dealing with are just not going to work. And so Jupiter is now moving into your 3rd house of communication, and this is where you begin to communicate through spirit, through your passion. Libras are so encouraging when they're speaking through their hope. When you suspend your analysis of things and you just are encouraging and encouraging and hopeful and just speaking of all the positive things in the world. When you stop looking at the details of things and just talk about the general direction that we should all go. That's where I find Libras do amazing. And I feel like this year you will have a massive transit in this area of your chart where that will be very resonant for a whole 13 months. Jupiter moves into Sagittarius on the 8th of November and actually leaves on the 2nd of December 2019. So it's a long transit. I really like Jupiter in the third house. It has a lot to do with communication, broadening horizons through communicating and finding depths of truths within yourself. So you find deeper understanding, self-understanding, and then you extend that outward. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards from the Syrian Starseed Tarot. I love this deck for the same reason that I love Jupiter in the third house. It's like, it's celestial. It's not necessarily too practical. We have the Two of Wands, we have the Sage of Crystals, and then we have the Nine of Flames. So this is a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn man or woman. I feel like it almost feels like you're trying to negotiate with people who are not going to budge on a situation. And because other people won't budge, you're just dealing with the consequence of them staying put and not changing. I feel as you push forward towards your vision of things, you will find that you have to kind of be alone for a while in order to really position yourself about the direction that you're going. A relationship with an earth sign might be faltering at this time, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising. Not necessarily so. This could also be you in some way really defining what's right for you, what's not. I feel like in trying to solve a problem, you find yourself being like a dog that's chasing its own tail around and around and around. It becomes maddening trying to find a solution in the same set of coordinates as before. And the only solution, in fact, is to go a different direction. The direction, I think you're starting from a position of compromise with other people, which means that you are no longer living for your own ideas. You've been defending the ideas of other people. And I think that it's gotten to this maddening pace that you cannot contend with anymore. And I think what happens this year is you go back to the drawing board. The third house, I took the chart off, but let's see if I can show you. The third house is right at your IC line, which is like where you were born. Well, let's not get into it, but this is early childhood. This is a part of your early development. And so from this position onward, you're going back to the root of things, of what you wanted. And maybe what you've wanted will not materialize for you in this year quite yet. Some of the things will, but I'm saying like that core value. But you are going to have an opportunity to reorient yourself to go on the path of achieving those things. You're going to go on the path of achieving those things. And I feel like the path of achieving those things is going to last 2 to 3 years, because the South Node has to go through Capricorn now for 1.5 years and then Sagittarius. So this is going to release all that stuff. So this is why awareness is coming to the source energy for you. And then as you release, then there'll be another 9 years, about 11 years until you are coming around full circle and really manifesting forward the energy that you are beginning now. And I know it seems like 11 years from now. That doesn't mean that you're going to have 11 years of drought. It means that you are going to have 11 years of calibration to get you to go in the exact direction you wanted to go when you were younger, or when you before you started making arrangements and agreements with people that were not true to your intention, right? So this is clarifying your intention, and I promise you, you will enjoy aspects of this energy way before 11 years from now. I suspect over the next year even, you will see manifestation of your true intention. But it's all about, here at the beginning of this transit, releasing your attachment to the attention of others. Okay? So it is what it is, right? And that's a part of the karma. It could be things such as agreements that you've made with your parents, agreements that you've made with your friends, your partner. And so I feel like there was a defining relationship with a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising that really rocked your sense of security. And I feel like you were in some way really taken aback by this person's strong boundaries. And on the one hand, that they were so forthcoming and generous, but on the other, they were so flippant and dismissive of their interaction with you. They just didn't compromise at all. And I think that you seeing that kind of theatric in front of you really helped you understand and see. I mean, we're not talking about rocket science here. This is all stuff that we know, but sometimes we have to see something for it to make sense, for the light bulb to go off. And I think that this person in some way modeled that for you, modeled that behavior. And when you see that behavior, it's a type of therapy. When someone models a type of behavior and you see it, although logically you could have known this for 15 years, when you actually see it, it goes, wow, this is actually someone doing this thing that was only theoretical, the thing that I desired that I would do for myself. So one of the things about Libra season that I really want to highlight is, for me, Libra season is like the one last hurrah of summer. It's like the last stretch, right? And Libras typically, to me, seem extremely busy. Or they've just given up completely trying to address everything. But there's always this sense with Libra, sun, moon, and rising that they are meant to reconcile. No, not reconcile, that they're meant to achieve. It's almost like that last dinner dash. So I don't know if you guys have this, because lots of people watch from different countries, but in North America there was this show when I was a kid in the 90s. Sorry to age myself, but anyway, so there was this show that in 30 minutes you had to put as many things into your shopping cart as possible in a grocery store. And that always reminds me of Libra season. Just like shoving in as many groceries as you can so you can get them free in a 30-minute time frame. And so I think Libras have a tendency to kind of be that way in general with things. They're super busy to try to, they know the moment is precious. You know the moment is precious. And in appreciating that the moment is precious, you are sometimes brought to allowing other people to have space in your private space because you want to praise them or you want to support them or something like that. So this is why this Queen of Pentacles was so integral, because she does not give space to other people. It's like, this is my personal boundary, don't mess with it, end of story. And so I think I think things have gotten to an extreme for you, Libra, in that you have given up autonomy for other people's wants and desires so much that there's none of this, because you've made those last minute judgments, that last run through the grocery store to get as much as you can out of that relationship before the game's over. And so I think that you've given up a lot of autonomy in that mindset of what would you do for somebody in the last moments of knowing them, right? Always giving, always being generous, and all that. And I feel like it's led you to a place in which there's very little solutions for your stuff at this point. And I think that with this Jupiter transit and the South Node transit through Capricorn and Sagittarius, they're going to go like this across each other, right? With these two transits kind of coming in this kind of chiasmus, it's called the chiasmus, then I feel like they are going to allow you to release all those agreements you've made with people in the past and redefine what is your true intention and desire. So I think Libra is going to become very powerful over the next 2.5 years. Beautiful transit, very inspirational. And in saying all that, I know it's long-winded, but in saying all that, what I'm trying to articulate in short, and I can't just say it because it won't make sense unless you get the clarifier before. But I think that you don't need to rush Libra this year. You don't need to rush to try. It's, this grocery store mentality. I know it feels like a lot of pressure with things, just not having things within reach to be able to reconcile a situation. I understand this energy here, but I also feel like you have time to. This has to happen regardless of what you do, and you have time to make sense of it after and identify your own feelings within it. So you don't have to rush. These relationships are going to stay. Get a good Virgo around you. I'm telling you, a good Virgo or Capricorn, Taurus too, but Tauruses are more, Tauruses are more pushovers. They're Venus, ruled like you are. So they're more like, they're less defiant in their boundaries, but Capricorn, Virgo is probably your best bet. Sun, Moon, or Rising Virgo. And to watch them in action, how they're actually very discerning about personal boundaries and personal space, and yet still make people feel comfortable and make people feel as though they are being generous. It's just the boundaries are established in a different way. So hopefully that will be inspirational for you. Take your time, pay attention, communicate about it, learn about it through communication, and then you can put it into use. I'm guessing that a lot of this will really play out in your 4th house of home and family. And I know this is getting long-winded, but it's a 2019 reading, so hey girl, hey. But this is going to play out a lot in 2019, late 2019, early 2020, when we have the stellium between Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and the South Node in Capricorn, in your 4th house of home and family. So these are old patterns to do with family. This is nothing that happened in the last 5 minutes. And I think what's going to happen is that Libra is going to get, you're going to get a reset on your voice. You're getting a reset on how saying what you mean and saying what you want without trying to be respectful of other people's wishes. And you're still going to be respectful of other people's wishes. There's just going to be a lot more of you in the conversation, which is a good thing. Here is the next message. We have the 8 of Stars, the Surge card, 8 of Wands coming through. It's never gotten dire for you, and this is more the relationship reading, the Art of Love. And then we have the Sun. Beautiful. So breakthroughs. In your moment of chaos, there's a relationship that is evolving. Somebody's going to be saying really nice things to you. 8 of Flames, 8 of Stars, same cards. The next card is the Moon. So reciprocating, what you're going to see is reciprocating those feelings and emotions towards the person of interest, the person who's saying nice things to you in your time of need, is going to be hidden. It's almost like a crush. You may be already in a relationship with this person, but it's still acting like you're going to really sense what's going on for you, as I had explained in the last few minutes, through your relationship with this person. So you'll feel more timid, you'll feel more reserved, all these feelings will come through. The next message is the Queen of Angels, and I feel this is your clear discernment. This is like air and water, right? The Queen of Angels, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But I feel like this is you as the visionary for yourself. And, you take a step back and you give yourself permission to kind of position yourself at the center of it again, right? Here is the next message. We have the Ace of Trees, abundance, a new physical beginning, maybe some type of offer from a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. And then the outcome is the High Priestess, intuition, with the 9 of Flames. So I feel like this relationship will in some way explain for you the extent of what's going on the inside, Libra. But I think in the latter part of the year, this will be all about you in some way withdrawing and being within yourself and being the visionary and really taking a step apart from everyone, including your partner, and canvassing out this new terrain that you've observed. Okay, beautiful message. And this is Jupiter in the third house for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Somebody had questions about whether the astrological part is for Moon and Sun. Yes, it is, because you can do a whole house system read based on the Sun and the Moon. So it's definitely for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, whoever it resonates for, it's good for. So now I have a little surprise. I hope you guys give me likes and all that for all this, but I have a little OG moment, which is a celebration of light. We have this in Vancouver. It's fireworks time. So Jupiter is in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so double the reason to do this. I stopped doing this on my channel because it was putting holes in my cards. These things pop. If you can see, I've already burned 2 holes in the background here, so can't do anything about that. But I'm going to take the loss, I'm going to take the hit, and I'm going to let you guys make a wish for this Jupiter in Sagittarius transit. Make it a good one. Come back and wish as much as you like. And yeah, and make sure to watch for your Sun, Moon, and Rising and wish there as well. So here we go. Okay. So Libras, you guys are awesome. I've had several friends and very significant people in my life who were Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. They always tell me the harsh truth of circumstances. And there's one Libra in particular who told me the truth about some things while she was very, very ill, you know? And the way that she said it to me, it was like jaw-dropping, what she said. And she was wrong in what she said, but the connotation was the biggest truth of 2018 that I heard, or 17. Anyway, so Libra, just trust your process. Trust that Venus is working her energy through you and that you can, in fact, see these deeper truths, and communicating them with an open heart to the people around you is so important. Yeah, such an important sign. I don't say it enough. And yeah, such an important sign. I don't say it enough, mostly because of my astrological placements with Libra. But I have Mars and Pluto in Libra, so I'm down with you guys. I just think your sign is great, and I hope you have a wonderful 2019, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Libra, thank you for joining me, and welcome to this reading for the transit between the North Node transit between Virgo and Leo. This is happening in your 11th house of social relationships and networking, friends. And so your emphasis is going to move towards friendship, building bonds with others, connecting with others, etc. If you have the North Node in the 11th house, when you check your chart on alib.com/free chart, and this reading is for you as well. What else can I say? The transit begins on April 28th and ends on November 2018. So it's about a 1.5 year long transit. There is going to be some really significant astrological aspect patterns, but first I want to show you some cards. Your first card is the faith card. So for you, you're being called upon to have faith, and that's interesting because the North Node has just transited through your 12th house of spirituality and belief systems. So you're being asked to put your lessons to action. So whatever you've been taught over the last 1.5 years, you're being asked to apply it on a daily basis for yourself and for your friends. And so you're elevating that lesson, and you're allowing that lesson to permeate through you. Here is the next message for Libra. Fog veiled. And so some things need to be veiled. It always reminds me of Veronica's veil, which is the boundary between our world and the world of God. And so with the fog here, there is a discrepancy between what you perceive and that which is real. But sometimes fog happens for the purpose of protecting the world as well. And so you too may be experiencing partial vision with regard to things. Maybe people around you, you're not seeing their full character or something like that, but it's all with a good reason. Here is your next card, Libra. We have the vacation card. It says, take time for relaxation and adventure. So I feel as though you've been through a lot, and I feel as though you are continually working hard towards moving forward and challenging yourself. Chiron is moving into your 7th house of partnership. So you want to be aware of the fact that partnership issues are going to be a huge thing on your docket. The South Node is actually in the 5th house of romantic relationships for you at this time in Aquarius. It just moved over. And I'll do a second video on that, explaining that exact transit. But you should be aware that at this time, it really will help you to make plans and vacation, maybe even with friends and others, to make connections with new types of people that you've never met before. I really want these cards to focus. There we go. There's so much detail in them that sometimes it takes a while, especially with the flickering candles. Anyway, so we have this necessity. Sometimes when I learn something new, and I've learned a lot of new things in my life, and so sometimes when I learn something new, then I need a break sometimes to step away and to gather my thoughts and ideas, and then things work out much better once I've had some sleep to it. This involves languages and other types of things like math, all sorts of different things I've learned just by stepping away and then coming back to it, including tarot actually, and astrology. I took a 4-year break somewhere in there in the 2000s, and after I came back I was much more composed and got it in a totally different way. So stepping away from things sometimes is good, and taking a vacation will allow you for some adventure and building new bonds. So here is a grand trine energy that is supportive of your spiritual path at this time. The North Node represents your Dharma, or what you can contribute to the world. And so you are really focused on social relationships. When the North Node transitions between Leo and between Virgo to Leo, it creates a conjunction here on the boundary of your 11th and 12th house with a fixed star called Regulus. This is a fixed star of kings and royalty, so it's a very blessed transition, I would say. And so when it moves in to the 11th house of social relationships, you're going to be really focused on friends and who you know and how you can help people. Also, the other really positive energy that will be with us for 7 months is a grand trine between Uranus, Saturn, and the North Node. Now that's between April 2017 and October 2017. This is going to be unpacking your relationships in the 7th house. Uranus is allowing you to think of alternative friendships, alternative relationships as positive experiences. And then also in the 3rd house of communication, refining your communication styles and pattern when Saturn is in the 3rd house for the rest of the year, allowing you to transform the way you communicate, and that elevating your position with other people. So it's almost like improving the way you talk, rethinking other people and who people are to you, and that causing a positive effect on your social life. Also, good luck with your social life with the North Node transit, I suppose, as well. So the other thing that I wanted to point out is that there are going to be a couple tough points with this transit. There's going to be more than that, but two main ones. One between January and February 2018, when the North Node experiences two sessi-square angles on it for the continuation of 60 days. And so what you're going to experience is a challenge on the friendship front. This is important for you to know now, because then you can get ready for it and prepare if you like, or be on the lookout for any kind of red flags that may be around you. The second challenge, or maybe growth opportunity, is when Saturn moves into your fourth house of home and family, restructuring your home and family, and then also creating a yod in this area. So complete overhaul of home and family as foundation, the 11th house of friendship and the 9th house of philosophy are aspected, creating that yod energy. A yod is a very powerful laser beam that can shoot total transformation into your life, Libra. And so this is two aspects you will experience during this transition period with Leo. And so abundance with regard to friendships, but also questions about leadership. The South Node is in the 5th house of partnership, and also the things that you enjoy. You're actually going to be rethinking things in a big way about what is community, what is the connection between community and life. Interestingly enough, the nodes are actually in opposite houses. So essentially Aquarius, but this is true for all your placements. Aquarius is traditionally the ruler of your 11th house, and the North Node rules the 5th house. Sorry, it's late. I was just getting kind of exploratory there. Anyway, so the South Node in Aquarius we'll talk about separately, but the North Node in Leo is going to be really focused on social relationships, bringing abundance to community, and kind of in some way making that large leap and connection. Pretty exciting path. This also begins with a Rosetta formation. The Rosetta formation will help you at a time when there could be some trouble, especially with regard to long distance travel and philosophy, higher education, etc. There could be some kind of issue with your mother at that time, particularly to do with her health. So make sure that you are, kind of bringing awareness to her to that issue. It may be something or nothing. Maybe this is a call to action in order to encourage her to be more healthful at this time. But then there is this Rosetta formation, which is allowing you to bypass this pressure point, which is called the T-square, and redefine certain things, such as talking to your mother, exploring options and concepts, different ways of approach. This is only true for the beginning April 28th transit, and then you're going to have a focus on health and fitness, bringing awareness to health and fitness, you see, and in the 3rd house, refining communication patterns and finding a networking solution through the people that you know. There's also a kite formation over us at this time. The South Node is in the 5th house of romance and children and the desire, and that's pushing forward you in some direction in your social life. So that got long-winded. Sorry about that. It's getting late. But here are your tarot cards for this transition. So we see the King of Coins, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn male. I love this king in this deck. So around you there is someone who has tangible means, someone who really likes what you're about. They're willing to invest and participate with you. Maybe this is you in charge of some very lucrative business or opportunity. The next message is the High Priestess. So for you right now, the opportunity is coming through to have the awareness. The North Node just went through your 12th house, and so you have vision. However, that vision is somewhat veiled, right? Because the 12th house transit of the North Node is coming to a close. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be sensitive, or you're not going to be, clairvoyant, whatever you identify as. It just means that maybe there is a subtle shift of focus towards the more tangible experience in the world. The next message is we have the Three of Wands, and so you are expecting some things to come in for you, and as they come in, you're able to take a vacation. So it looks as though maybe you've invested on some 12th house stuff that doesn't fit anywhere else, and now you're seeing the rewards for those efforts. Here is your next message. We have the Seven of Wands. So this is a period in which you have to stand up for what you believe in and what you believe is right. You have to fight for your own personal power and asserting your faith. I think this is kind of trying to stay grounded amid the fog, trying to stay grounded. You might find a partner or a friend to liaise with, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, because we are earth signs, so we can ground you, and then using that energy to kind of find your own voice within all those different circumstances. When you do so, you can move forward on the vacation you've planned. The next message is the Ace of Coins, initiation of a new project or a new idea. You're the third sign who's getting this, so this is pretty exciting. New opportunities for you. I think they're coming straight out of the insights that you've derived through the last transit. Saturn is now moved away from your second house, and Jupiter is about to move into, that's it. Jupiter's moving into your second house of money, so there is going to be a lot of prosperity for you come November when Jupiter moves into that house. The outcome card is the Five of Swords. I kind of read this card as the Five of Swords. Make sure with the amount of stuff that's going on, I feel like there is a lot going on for you right now. And as a Virgo, I know I went through the Jupiter transit last year. The one takeaway is that you want to mind your energy, really take things slowly, and don't overload, because you may put too much on your plate and not be able to deal with everything accordingly. Here is a card from my deck. It's out of print deck, but I will print it again sometime. This is the Cosmic Flower Oracle deck, and here is the hibiscus flower. The flower hibiscus traditionally governs lust, seeking love, divination, celebration, and knowing the truth. So you know within yourself what the right directions for you are. I think that you will be connecting with really powerful people who can make a lot of things happen for you with regard to business opportunities and with regard to partnership. Unorthodox partnerships lead to success, Libra, but you want to make sure that you are mindful of the energy and just not complicating things with extra stuff. There is a message about Gemini. So Gemini is not really an aspect at this time with any outer planets. Mars rules through, the Sun will rule through, Mercury, etc., Venus. But the outer planets are not interacting with Gemini right now. So maybe look for a Gemini person who may in some way help you carry forward the faith and goals. This is a Martian energy, so Mars is a part of your life at this time. Initiating some type of business venture, I think, is the kind of paramount advice here. And then the outcome is Ankh, which is life. And so the Five of Swords, it's like, oh well, Libra, it's just life. You win some, you lose some. There is a lot of stuff that you have to wade through this year and a half long period. But I think that if you approach it the right way, if you really listen to yourself, which is at the center of the reading, you'll really come out on top. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a like and subscribe. Thank you so much again. Take care and good luck. Bye. Hi Libra, and thank you for joining me, and welcome to this reading for July through December 2018. I'm super excited to be here with you guys, and this is your reading from the first part of the year. That's linked in the About section if you want to see me read the whole thing. In just a minute I will explain just a summary of what we've got going on here. This reading still stands true, particularly these two cards, but I would really recommend watching that video. I also have 2 astrological videos that you guys can watch, also linked down below, and they explain the astrological transits. In these videos that you're watching right now, I'm not actually going into the astrology in detail, so watch the astrological videos. They're only about 10 minutes each, and so each one will explain for you the transits that are happening January through June and then July through December. So you should be excited about that. I also have a horoscope reading that I did on Instagram, and each house of the horoscope is clarified on Vimeo. You can rent those videos, or you can hold out, because when the Instagram post reaches 500 hearts, then I will release some, if not all, those videos on YouTube for you guys to watch for free. So that's a lot of information, but if it's not clear for you, then just go down in the About section and follow the links to the particular videos. I have decided that I'm going to release the intro video from Vimeo here on YouTube. Excuse me, on YouTube, because the links on Instagram are not clickable, so it'll be much easier for you guys to find it through that. Okay, so that's about it in terms of the kind of other stuff that you can watch. But looking at your reading in an overall fashion, I feel as though 2018 will be much lighter and brighter for you, particularly as the year progresses. So you start off in certain circumstances that are still working themselves out from the past. Maybe you had a relationship that wasn't really working that well. That relationship fell through. However, I do feel like if you're in a bad relationship, sometimes that affects other parts of your life. So just by dealing with bad attitude or bad circumstances, sometimes you end up having to that proliferates into other aspects of your life. So now in 2018, that relationship is over, you're really moving towards a more prosperous direction. If you're staying in the same relationship as you had been in before, there is also positive movement forward. Likewise, if you have been single, I think you're really taking a turn in a different direction. You had the Death card as your main energy for yourself for the year, so you are doing a lot of personal growth and transformation as well. So congratulations for that, Libra. This is the oncoming energy, particularly important for you now in 2018 by July. This is the Hierophant card, the Lovers, and the Sun, so it looks as though things are always on the up and up. I think your most difficult part of the year will be the springtime. That's when you are going to be challenged to bring in some really specific and honest answers into your life. So it's going to be that question of, are you going to follow through with what you know about yourself, with what you know is good for you, or are you going to toe the line and get strung along in directions that are not helpful for you? But I don't feel like you're in threat of that at all, because we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Empress, and Judgment making a very clear decision, particularly in the first half of the year, that will lead to consequences in the latter part. So if you guys don't mind now, I'm going to do the second reading. The second reading, I'm going to use the Tarot of Dreams. And so this is a beautiful deck. I'm using only the higher arcana, just like in this reading. And the second reading covers specifically the second part of the year. So this reading that we are just pulling off the table did the whole year, covered the whole year. Well, the second reading, this reading that you're watching right now, will cover the latter part of the year. So just be patient, and we're going to go through the entire higher arcana. I'm also going to be clarifying with another favorite deck of mine, which is the Cosmic Tarot. So we'll be using that to clarify once we have the Tarot of Dreams worked out a little bit. So I'm using the entire higher arcana from the Tarot of Dreams. If you don't know, I'm not going to be highlighting the cards or lifting them up to the camera for a close look, but I will be naming them. So if you guys want to see a particular card, I suggest looking them up in Google Images search, and it's definitely there. This is a popular deck. And so yep, so we gave it a good shuffle. I gave a ceremonial shuffle, and let's begin. I need to get all the cards on the table before I really fully begin reading, but I'll be making small comments throughout. Your major card, or your first card, is the Last Judgment. This means that you're really at the driving, the steering wheel of your circumstances in 2018. You're initiating something new. Next, we have the Lovers, which is a focus on relationships and family. This has to do with the sacrifice. I mentioned that in the overview reading for 2018. In this position, we have the Chariot, which is, in a sense, overcoming and persevering through circumstances. Next, we have the Empress, which is a great attraction between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. In all your readings, there is a theme of union. So many of you will be entering into a significant relationship, committing to a relationship that's already started, moving towards a relationship, or kind of re-engaging with the relationship you already have. Next, we have the Hanged Man. School issues will persist and maintain, maybe longer than you had expected. Then you have the World card, which represents that there will be a necessity for you to possibly travel long distances for marriage or for family. That was a channeled message that came through. Next, we have the Hierophant card, the card of Taurus. And so with this card, you have a necessity to overcome relationship troubles through higher education and finding some kind of formal establishment within the relationship. So this is calling on for you to formalize your education into some kind of higher arrangement and come together in some kind of structured way. So, form your relationship. Sorry, the siren was distracting. But the Hierophant here can mean that many of you will be pushing towards marriage, and you'll feel that's a real imperative for you in your life. The next message we have is the Devil. And then we see the Star as the next card. It's your destiny to have had to go through a period of solitude. I feel that's led you to empowerment. This was your 12th house ruler for the horoscope reading in terms of your spirituality. You've grown a lot in terms of your spiritual understanding. A new beginning, which is the Outset card for the year ahead. So this is in the perfect position. This is the epicenter of the whole reading. Next, we have the Moon card. Okay, so careful consideration. I don't feel as though, again, Libra's theme for the last 6 months and continuing now looks like it is careful consideration and combination of insight and understanding and being patient with the circumstances that you are dealing with. Next, we have the Wheel of Fortune, switching towards new path and direction. And next, the outcome is the Priestess. So whatever choices you are making to move forward, you are going to be very conscious of the consequences of those actions and choices. I feel as though you're in it to win. Here is the next message. We have the Temperance card, which is this is a struggle. I see a struggle is here between going your own way, which I think will persevere in the end, and you will have a tendency to try to integrate your relationship into something, your relationship, that's channeled message. Relationships will push you to integrate your goals into some kind of hybrid form. And I feel as though that's going to continue to provoke distraction for you, and it's not actually the way you're meant to go. Next, you have the Emperor. For some of you, a marriage has fallen apart or some kind of stable relationship. I feel as though for some of you, this was the coming together of a relationship as well. So it's actually very polarizing reading, in the sense that if by December you had broken up with someone, this is a confirmation that there is a final breakup and the nature of your stability together. However, for some of you, this is a quick marriage and eloping, that kind of thing. The next message is the Death card. So in this position, this is the opportunity for fast and unexpected change that will come up in your life throughout the latter part of 2018, where as situations move forward, you will have quick solutions to life's problems. The next message is the Strength card, which means that whatever happens, you will be very strong in the directions that you are taking. You will no longer need confidants. You can choose to have them, but you will not necessarily need them. You will be going in your own direction and informed by your own discernment. The next message is the Hermit, which is in a certain way, again, discernment based on previous experiences. This is the card of Virgo. And then next we have the Tower. Okay, so you're going to make a drastic change in the latter part of 2018. The nodes are going to switch into your 10th house. You might make a career decision that's going to change your outside world. Beautiful position for the Sun here. This is the Outset card, which means whatever you're making a choice for your happiness. These two cards in these positions are super empowering, which means that the directions that you are taking are going to take you to good new heights. The Outcome card is your card Libra. You're attaining balance. Isn't that so pretty? That the last card for 2018 is actually making the choices necessary to receive the balance that you need in life in order to move forward in complete directions. Complete change. Probably in the fall of 2018, that's when Jupiter moves into your 3rd house. I'm thinking November, December is when a lot of this stuff starts kicking in. And this is going to be for all Libras, not just one type or one relationship. So some of these comments are going to be with regard to relationships, but this is not strictly a love reading, okay? Obviously. So I hope you guys can see all the cards. I think it looks like you can. So, okay. So this is concerning a new beginning for you, Libra, and one that is already had begun at the onset of 2018 or in the first half of 2018. This is the consequence of growing up. It's like getting your driver's license and moving forward in a particular direction. And even though maybe some of it seems intimidating, you pull up your socks and move forward regardless. I feel as though there's a great attraction between you and someone of the opposite sex. I feel as though there's this kind of beckoning or a call between you and someone else, an understanding that has to do with children, that has to do with marriage and family. And I feel as though you can not really have an easy time avoiding it. I think it's very clear for both of you that this relationship is significant and important and liberating. I feel as though in a big part you are willing to branch out for your family members, branch out into the world, begin something new. This may have to do with a sacrifice. Those of you who have partners in academia, you will be moving with your partner. You will be making an adjustment in order to accommodate their academic schedule. and their academic requirements. Academia is super competitive, by the way, for everybody else who's not a part of this message. And so partners have a very hard time balancing between each other's needs, because educational opportunities and employment is so limited in each school, although I think schools do try to accommodate partners, etc. So there's this kind of solitary journey that happens in academia for many people, and so people in partnerships, one partner usually has to accede for the other's success. Okay, so yes, there is a personal transformation that you had begun in the past, and so that led you to a new beginning, an evolution and progress, and it's going to lead to your success. So some of you are going to choose that path as well. This card is very important right here, the Tower. I feel as though you're going to make a drastic change in your life. Some of you Libras are going to pack up and leave your current circumstances. For some of you, you will commit to going to school yourself as a means to resolve your life's problems leading up to this point. I feel as though you should be wary of Leo people, although by the end of the year, Leo people become the scope or at the forefront of your life. My suggestion for you is maybe after the North Node moves into Leo, then North Node moves into Cancer, in November 16th or the 6th, depending on how you calculate it. Then this will be this personal way. In fact, I feel as though you're taking somebody's bad behavior and modeling after it, but in a healthful way. So you're seeing what someone's doing that's maybe in some way not so wonderful, not so insightful, and so you are modeling that behavior and taking it to like a confident place, a place where it's constructive and not hurtful to anyone. Maybe you're mirroring their confidence or mirroring their approach and mitigating the negative aspects of it. I feel as though there is a great intuition shared between you and your partner. Your partner, in a certain way, is your oracle, is your insight and intuition into circumstances. They help to bring you down. They are the rock on which you can in a certain way put faith into or trust into. And I feel as though this opens up the world for you. This opens up new opportunities, things that you had never expected. This also begins new business partnerships as well as new routes in new directions. All these transformations are positive, but they are still reliant on another person. However, by the end of the year, you will be choosing to take a break away from that. Maybe you'll feel as though you become too dependent on another person, and so you will feel uneasy. You'll have to challenge yourself and say, well, I'm going to have to challenge my life and make sure that I'm self-sufficient. So you're gonna, not necessarily that this is an overly codependent relationship, but you are weary of falling into codependency in a relationship, and so you continue to challenge that relationship. I feel as though your approaches are somewhat interesting. There's a spiritual catharsis that you seek out for new beginnings, but then there is also an adherence to very old and traditional ways of doing things. Also, you are the action of change, especially after May, when Uranus moves into your 8th house. You're going to get very attached to unattachment. You're going to get very attached to change, transformation, shifting, moving around, switching sides, turning things into an upside. One of the main cards that came up for you in your horoscope reading and in the whole overview reading was the Hermit, and here it is in a very positive light. So I feel as though Virgos or your solitary journey are in some way extremely important for you. I feel as though this solitary journey allows you to have those breakthroughs. Sometimes a little bit of solitude is what is needed in order to make gains and to glow up. You really definitely need to, in a certain way, pack away any kind of restrictions on yourself, especially commitments to other people, which are a huge theme in the first part of the year. So it's like trying to maintain integrity with regard to relationships that you have with other people, while still maintaining integrity within yourself and going in the direction that your north node is pointing, insight and intuition. Okay, so now we're going to clarify with the Cosmic Tarot, and I'm just going to pick cards in various different positions. Okay, let's clarify the Fool first. And do make sure to watch for your sun, moon, and rising for different qualities or aspects with regard to these readings. The sun is your sense of self, your identity. The rising sign is how you interact with the world around you, and the moon is your emotional or the most intimate reflection upon the experiences that you are having. Okay, your first card clarifying is the High Priestess. This position is actually very important. So your goal is for insight and intuition in a relationship, particularly those of you who are in homosexual female relationships, lesbian relationships. You will be, it's an interesting, it's as if there are two High Priestesses, both whom have their own opinion about things, and you are learning to balance your own intuition against the intuition of a partner. Similarly, if you have a strong feminine energy and you are in a friendship relationship with another female, a sister relationship, that too leads to some kind of need to balance out your own individual insight into circumstances. Let's see what the Tower is. I can't help but to see. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So this means that you are really going to make a decision and a commitment to your craft. Whatever you have learned to do, you are going to apply yourself. Definitely after August and September, you will move forward. There's this commitment that towards something, commitment to a specific task, a specific area of study. Okay, the outset card is the High Priestess, which means that it's going to lead to simple work that may seem really just in and of itself, maybe even not glamorous in any way, but still recognized by others. Think of someone like a flower shopkeeper, someone who arranges flowers for people to purchase. Seemingly a very humble position, but still has its craft, and it has its own quality to it that can be appreciated by others. The outset card is the Justice card, which is finding balance. Not all Libras are going to be flower arrangers, but the point is that your interest in life is moving towards efficiency at a job or a task without too much clout, without looking for too much attention out of it. The outset card is dealing with the Five of Swords. So you've been hitting your head up against a wall until this time has come in trying to work out ambition versus what you internally really enjoy doing. So you've been overstepping your boundaries, putting too much on your plate, and getting stuck with too much energy to have to sort out and figure your way through. And so simplifying, you make an active choice to simplify in work. This is the North Node in Cancer after November. simplify in work and be able to, in a certain way, move forward. Sometimes, you know, the hare and the rabbit and the turtle, that slow and steady wins the race. So you're really kind of slowing down your pace and also simplifying in order to make really grounded achievements in directions through which you would have burned through in the past. Really move through really quickly. In the past, let's see what your lessons have been. Definitely ambition. Queen of Wands. This was a core card for you, I think, in December 2017 reading. A similar reading like this, but using just the Romance Angels cards. So we have the Queen of Wands here, dealing with kind of, it seems as though you were looking for, you know, like the presentation, form over function, in situations. You were looking to set an impression rather than think about what you were doing specifically. And I feel as though that had led you into some repetitive cycles of start and restart and preemptive endings because you weren't truly committed to a task or a situation at any point in time. I feel as though here you're outset King of Swords, you're really coming into your own position of power. For some of you, this will come through as a, how do you say this, loving energy. This could be a relationship that begins for you in a direction that will be much better for you than you had anticipated. I feel as though you are ready to commit towards something specifically. If you're not committed in a relationship already, then you will be moving towards that. In the middle of the year, you may not be quite there yet. For some of you who are single, you might still be working this energy out. However, fundamental changes are going to be improving the quality of your life, and your quality of life is going to improve through balance and self-understanding. Okay. And then the next message is the Empress here. So I feel as though there is a destiny for you. For some of you, the connection to a Scorpio is going to be heavily influenced by mother's influence, or maybe your own goals with regard to family and building a family. I feel as though there will be a lack of full understanding in how to deal with the situations and work them through. It's not the what, it's the how that's the issue here. So it's just a matter of time as you resolve your understanding. And you got the Magician, so this means that you will find a resolution for this in the latter part of the year. I feel as though that the confusion is the reason why you have to draw away to really understand why you are separating yourself, and why you are, that was a channeled message, why you are moving away from situations so that you can counter that. Hopefully that relationship will still be there for you. I think it will. I don't think it's going to disappear. You do have the Sun. Whatever it is at the end of the year, it'll be as though you had made the necessary changes so that from now on the cycles of relationship failure that you have faced in the past are going to be eradicated. The next message is, the Devil. So this is the focus on the 4th house, Capricorn, right? The Devil has horns. Capricorn, ruled by Capricorn. There's an extreme amount of power that is being left in your 4th house. In 2019, you are going to see the South Node move through your 4th house in preparation for the 2020 massive transit with Jupiter. So Jupiter is moving through the 3rd house in 2019, beginning in 2018, and then the whole consolidation of energy in your 4th house, home and family, is going to happen in 2020. So this is kind of like finding the path or the road that you must take in a particular direction in light of the failures of the past, or choosing to no longer dwell in those kinds of those ambitions. You understand that it was your ambitions that had limited your success rate in the past. You don't have to think about it anymore. You can just leave it and move forward. So I feel as though there is a Cancer person. It could be a Scorpio or a Pisces, but for many of you, there will be a Cancer person who helps you overcome certain circumstances, overcome limitations that you feel in your life. This person will be possibly your counselor. It could be a man or a woman, but someone in whom you confide in. There's also this fulfillment of wishes with regard to family. This is a wonderful card, and I'm going to leave the reading here because it's such a positive card. It is the wish card, and I really hope that you guys make a wish here with regard to family matters. There was some kind of commitment you had to see through in the first reading. So watch the first reading, and there was some kind of commitment you had to see through. And so this was to do with your family most likely. And this is why I see the Nine of Cups as such a blessing card for you here, because for whatever reasons you made that sacrifice at the onset of the year or even years before, there's going to be a positive answer. There's going to be a consolidation to your efforts. It's not going to go in vain. And so you will find this kind of consolidation of energy that is happening for you with regard to family matters, particularly if you've invested some time and energy into towards someone else or something else. So let's say that you took care of someone's needs. It's like basically if you water someone's plant while they're away and they come back and they bring you cake or something nice. Now this is not going to be something trivial like watering plants. This is going to be larger exertions of energy that you've put into your life with someone, in a family member. It could be as far removed as a cousin or even a neighbor. But most of you will experience this within family groups, and so the outcome will be a fulfillment. You will take time off work to take care of someone in illness, and they will pull through, and you will feel the satisfaction of that illness lifting because of your effort. And you know that without your help, that person may not have had the quality of life necessary in order to be able to get better. So I feel as though good things are happening for you, and you are being a bit of an angel. At the end of the year, it's a little bit of a lackluster ending, but for you on a personal level, it's very fulfilling because you have, in a certain way, gathered a control over facets of your life that were in a certain way out of balance, and now they're in balance. And in fact, you have addressed 2 or 3 issues that had left you completing the same mistakes over and over again. Just as a reminder, I just recognized this, that in the reading for the entire overview for the year, we had the Hanged Man modified by the High Priestess and the Magician, and here they come again. So this is a powerful couple. This is a couple that is empowered, or both facets of yourself are very empowered this year. So even though maybe your life is a little bit on the simple side of things, I think that you can feel 2020 coming, and you are preparing yourself, and you are in a very good mind to do so. Anyway, Libra, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and please give me a thumbs up and check out my other readings down below. I hope you guys are having a wonderful 2018, and I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye. Guys, thanks for joining me today, and welcome to this reading for Lenormand in November. I'm excited to be here with you guys, and I'm going to do your Lenormand reading using the Dreaming Way Lenormand cards. I hope you guys are doing well. Please give me a like and a comment on this video. We're making the YouTube gods happy, and it's working, so I want to thank you guys so much for your help and support these last couple months. I was on school. I was still here, but not really. I remember last September when I was going back to school, and I was never told you guys, but I was like quietly saying to myself, I'm like, I hope they'll be when I get back. I hope they'll be here when I get back. Because I was going to be here, but you know, when you're busy with like, it's graduate program, so it's just really time consuming. Anyway, so let's take a look at your cards. So we have the letter, right? So some important communication is a huge part of your life in November, something you've been waiting for to hear. Remember, Mercury's retrograde is in Sagittarius, so communication gets funny, but just like an inversion in yoga, when you stand on your head, you see the world from a different perspective. That's why the Hanged Man in the tarot is such an amazing card, because it allows you to see things from a different perspective. So Mercury retrograde also allows us to see certain things. It's still hard for such things as signing documents or, you know, joining a company, signing contracts, that kind of stuff. But I feel like other types of communication benefit a lot with Mercury retrograde, because you can kind of go back to things, revisit them, rethink things, all of that stuff. Here is the next message. We have the Bear. So somebody who's very important, somebody who has a lot of resources is contacting you. They're letting you know what they think. And then we have the Whips. So some of the information that you'll be hearing is going to be difficult to hear. But I feel like it's the important things that you need to hear in order to truly understand a situation. So I feel like that situation is going to become clear for you and is going to become apparent. And so I think that if you've been waiting for a sign, if you've been waiting for an explanation to why things are happening the way they are, I think you're going to get your clarity in November. That's also coming on the heels of Venus retrograde, of course, so that will probably be an aspect of things as well. The sign we are reading for is Virgo. Hey Virgo, of course the Whips, right guys? We always get the Whips. Virgo, your November reading is ready down below, so go check that out. Both of your readings, I actually split your video up into 2 parts, so that's going to be in the Virgo playlist. I also have videos available on Vimeo for you guys if you want to support me in the channel. It's like a 21 card spread. Okay, so here we go. Next message, we have the Lady. Women send to you important communications, Virgo. I feel like you're also in touch with very powerful women who have a lot of resources at their disposal. The next message is the Child. Be careful for childish behavior from other people. Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, half of the month Venus, half of the month Mercury. I would just suggest that when you do discuss things with people, if they have a way to backbite you, if they're being backhanded in any way, then I feel like you should be aware that you're dealing with immaturity, or you're dealing with a situation that may not produce for you a mature response. The next message is the Ship. When you hear the information, you're going to have to go on some kind of journey. You're going to have to go somewhere, or somebody has to come with you. So, it's something that it's a responsibility that you have to fulfill, and you have to go and you have to go somewhere and do something as a response to what the letter tells you. Okay, the next message is the Mice. Ooh, lots of stuff going on. So don't let people get under your skin, Virgo. This month is looking intense. Don't let people get under your skin. And after doing your tarot, let me just say, because I know you guys are freaking out, the first half of the month is kind of intense. And then the latter part is when things chill out. Because at the beginning of the month, we have Jupiter in Sag, which seems to be okay. But we also have Mars in Pisces, Venus retrograde, and then Mercury going into shadow. So right from the beginning of the month. So it's like you have, and then a nodal change, which is a huge shift. For you, Virgo, it's amazing. I explained that on the YouTube video for free, so go check that out. But there's just a lot of things shifting and changing. And we do have a predisposition of letting people into our lives who may not be the best for us all the time, because we see the good in everyone. And so I feel like maybe the consequence, it's a consequence of allowing certain energies around you, which is not something I would discourage necessarily, because you're doing it for your own reasons, but expect people to start stirring around you, being away. And so, not away, but like a way, you know, they're being a certain way. And so they may be kind of causing you consequences that you don't necessarily deserve or you don't necessarily want. So be very careful of who you open your ears to, okay? The next message is the House. I feel as though you're dealing with someone who's quite immature around the home. I feel as though there has to be a certain level of parental involvement. Maybe your kids are around more, but possibly you're dealing with somebody's immaturity, and you have to be very present and sort of, how do you say, like minding the situation to assure that nothing weird happens. The next card is the Clover. It's going to all end okay. I told you, see, in the latter part of the month, after the 16th, I would say, after the 17th, the 16th is going to be an interesting day. We're going to do so many readings that day. But after all that happens, I feel as though good things will come. You will receive a message from somebody young, possibly your own child, and I think that that message will bring you good things. Guard yourself. I think at the beginning of the month, you may not know how much you have or how much other people can see that you have. And so you should be really thankful and appreciative and within your gratitude towards the things that you have, because I feel like people may be coming in, and if you're not appreciative, if you don't recognize what you have, then those things can get kind of not stolen, but you know, moused out. And then on the bottom we have the Garden, and so this is kind of like what I was saying. You have a lot of different things going on. In terms of your emotions, in the first part of the month, you may feel as though these situations can make you feel negative about what you have. That's what I'll say. And by the end of the month, as things change, I think that you'll start seeing and recognize everything that you have, and definitely in November. And you don't want to run the risk of kind of opening yourself up to something because you don't appreciate the things you have, and that something in some way having access to things it shouldn't have access to, if that makes sense. So I think that you have more than you think you do, and I think in the latter part of the month you'll get to enjoy it. And if you do give it away, if you do turn your back and somebody takes it, then I feel like you will still have good luck that comes around for you at the end of the month in order to compensate for what was lost. Okay, so no need to worry, Virgo. I hope you guys have a wonderful November, and talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for joining me, and welcome to this reading for the new moon for December 6th in the West Coast or in Hawaii, but for December 7th everywhere else. You can watch this anytime in December for like an information on what begins, or if you're a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this could be, all these videos could be for you in some way. It could be for all of us, scratch that. I don't know what sign I'm reading for, that's why I chose that other card, but in the meantime I want to pick a card from the Starseed Tarot, and you guys can just kind of laugh at me as I try to play with the energy without knowing what sign it is. Okay, so let's take a look at your first card. We have the Nine of Flames, and so in this way, timeout has happened. Energetically, there are a lot of squares over us through this time, so there's this kind of frictitious I'm just kind of out of words today, I don't know why. So there is kind of some friction in the energy. How about that? So there's some friction in the energy, and you instinctively want to kind of sit out to the side and see what's going on before you move forward. Maybe a wise idea. The next message is the Magician card. So it won't be for long before you set something in motion. Maybe you've been trying to figure something out to the side for a while, and now you're feeling like it's time to move forward and settle on something. The sign we are reading for is Sagittarius. Hey, happy birthday, you guys. This is your new moon. So maybe you've taken a pause from a situation or a circumstance, and now you feel more confident moving forward with what you want to do, or with what you've wanted to initiate. This new moon actually is in your first house with Jupiter, so this would be one of those times in which you want to put a lot of energy behind the things you want to see come up in your life. Unfortunately, as you can see, there's lots of red lines all over the place. I don't have time to break each one down, but it is a lot of friction in the energy, and specifically Venus and Uranus are in opposition. And Uranus is on an exact T-square now from the nodes again. Now Uranus has been going back and forth on this T-square as it retrogrades and goes direct again. So this is the last part of this transition. I think it's the last one, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one. But what that happens is that maybe you feel a sense of frustration because you may be drawn towards having passion for certain things. As you try to progress forward towards your goals, the things that you find so inspiring and motivating may feel in some way kind of out of continuity with the directions that you're taking in life. So they could be either far away, hard for you to reach, hard for you to grasp, or hard for you to integrate with the greater flow of energy and time in your life. There's also quite a bit of energy with regard to your spirituality coming into a semi-square with what you want to initiate. So you could be feeling like there's a conflict within yourself between what your spirit wants and what is going on for you, where you want to put the energy, where you want to apply your focus and energy. So a little bit of downtime will really help you to kind of navigate and figure that out. The next card is the Ace of Crystals. Hoo-hoo, not the first time we saw this. So a new physical beginning in a new direction, something to feel excited about. The next message is the Seeker of Flames. This is a Pisces, maybe. This is a Princess of Flames or a Page of Flames. So some kind of, you're waiting for time to set forward in some type of new beginning. Inspiration may happen, but you're waiting for that time when you're really ready to move forward with something that will have an impact on the rest of your year, on the rest of all the energies that you are dealing with, all the things that you're beginning this year, all the things that you want to initiate. It all starts here, so you don't want to do a false start or start too early. You want to wait for the right time to kind of move forward with what you want. The next message is the Master of Crystals. This is a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And so I feel like this person, in some way, is a big part of that. This is someone who, in some way, has established a certain type of position. They have a foundation that they feel good about. And I feel like they, in some way, are a conduit of energy through which you can kind of initiate a new financial direction for yourself in your life. The next message is the Shadow, which is the Capricorn card. This could also be a Capricorn, a Virgo, or a Taurus. But the Shadow is the Devil card. And right now there's a lot of crazy transits in Capricorn. So we'll see this card come up a lot, and it doesn't necessarily mean bad things. In fact, in your chart, it's the second house right here. And so this can mean that at this time, there could be some kind of restriction that you experience as a byproduct of Saturn, which is the devil, right, in your second house of money. So be careful with this energy. I think it's prudent to really take your time and figure out your best options. Jumping into new beginnings may be preemptive, maybe too soon for you to be able to do that you are fully ready, or before you know what you're getting yourself into. On the bottom of the deck is the Five of Flames. I think there's a lot of stress and anticipation that you are going through as you are trying to figure out exactly how to go about doing things. I do have a sense that many of you may feel as though you are things are way over your head right now, and it's important for you to be aware of it. The fact that things are just kind of hyperinflated over your head, and that you have to have respect and reverence for that, okay? So let's take a look at your angel card. We have Zachriel, which is the angel of memory. So I feel like one energy has to do with slowing down here. One energy has to do with kind of retracting and not being reactive. Remember, Lilith is in your third house of communication. So this is just in some way a willingness to communicate haphazardly and to create friction and antipathy or a negative energy through communication. And it could channel through you, so it's not necessarily, it could be your own fear, animosity, jealousy, whatever, but it's channeling through you, and if you're not careful, you may feed the energy, and it may take you away to a direction you don't want to go, and later you'll regret that you even said those things, or that was a part of the circumstance or the situation. So I feel like there's also a bit of an offer that is being made here towards some kind of prospect. But if you are being solicited with something, be very wary. There could be an element of illegality involved in the whole situation. And there could be also a new physical beginning between yourself and another person. And again, be very careful for it to be too one thing, an adult thing, and not like a whole relationship, unless that's what you're looking for, in which case this looks like a pretty good spread for that. So before I go, I want to play rock, paper, scissors with you guys, and you guys can kind of give the win. If you win, then maybe that's a yes for you. If I win, maybe that's a yes for you. So just give it a go. So I'm going to play rock, paper, scissors on the count of 3. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, so maybe this will confirm with you your own intuition about things. Maybe it will denounce something, or maybe it'll make you wonder a little bit more. But I hope you have a wonderful new moon. This energy is going to mount until the full moon that happens in Cancer on the 22nd, if I'm right. Full moon at 0 degrees Cancer on the 22nd, that's right. And that's going to be in your 8th house, so maybe some of this can get flushed out and changed when you are ready. Sag, have a wonderful birthday, and I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye.